Williams Stadium is a must-win situation. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Huddleston, along with my broadcast partner for so many years, Nick Hampton, to bring you the sights and sounds of Rougher football on this Friday night. And, Nick, it's a simple story for the Muskogee Roughers. First things first, before you talk about potential points and then you have to take care of your business tonight. And for the Muskogee Roughers, that'll be a tall order because the Hornets of Booker T. Washington have plenty of talent, and they got the record to back it up at 7-1.
Well, the Roughers are going to be looking for more treats than tricks tonight, hopefully. And not only do the Roughers have to take care of their own business too, but they're going to need some help from Sand Springs or their opponents over the next couple of weeks if they want to make the playoffs. So lots of things in a moving circle for the Roughers to be able to get in. But like you say, first things first, they got to take care of the Hornets tonight.
Well, setting the stage for our pregame visit with one of the members of the Rougher football team is the guy who takes care of things first games first. He's the starting center. His name is James Moore. He'll be our guest in our pregame countdown to kickoff. That after this opening timeout, you're watching and listening to Rougher Football 2021.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Red Dirt Production Services proudly supports the Muskogee Roughers. Productivity in the oil and gas industry requires every member of the team to know their job and do it to the best of their abilities. Just like in football, teamwork is a #1 priority, and that's the mission of Red Dirt Production Services, serving the oil and gas industry through roustabout and well pumping services, along with environmental remediation and pipeline construction. Proud to join forces with the Roughers to win every day the Muskogee way. Red Dirt Production Services says, "Go Roughers!"
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Rougher football tonight from S.E. Williams Stadium in Tulsa. We bring in the guy who starts every offensive play. No, it's not Jamarian Ficklin at quarterback. It's the young man who wears number 56 for the Roughers, the offensive center, James Moore. You realize you have a lot of responsibility. Tell me what goes through your mind every time you come up to the line, you're ready to start another play.
Well, first of all, I always got to get the snap right. And then whenever I get the snap right, got to figure out who I'm blocking, see where the nose guard is, see if I got to help Keenan or Jace, and then go to the linebacker.
When you're talking about starting a snap, do you like the fact the Bird is in the gun, or would you rather him be up under center?
I like when he's in gun. That gives us more time to try to get defensive line off,
Now, when you're talking about having to get to the next level or help out on a double team, what do you look for once you get the ball out of your hands to attack that opposing defender?
I'm looking for who's coming to the play side run, and I'm looking for who's coming behind me, like beside me. So whenever I'm going up and then there's a lineman right there, I got to get him, and then hopefully Tober can go on.
Is it harder for run blocking or pass blocking for James Moore?
It's harder for pass block because I know on run I can just drive him, but on pass block I got to wait for him to do a move or just try to wait for him to try to penetrate.
Let's get a little bit better knowledge of number 56, some of the things you like to do. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is probably pizza.
What do you step on the scales at today?
300.
Okay. Now, what's your favorite class out of Muskogee High School?
Probably Black History. Coach Joe.
Okay. Obviously, good relationships there. Got a favorite music artist?
Probably Drake.
Okay. What do you do for fun things to do when you're off the field, not playing football, trying to relax and just enjoy being a kid?
Well, during the summer I liked mowing grass, but now I just like hanging out with my friends and family.
This is your senior year, last chance to make a difference for Rougher football. What plans are you making forward for the future? What do you want to do?
I plan on going to college and playing football there, and then I plan on getting my master's in counseling. And
Number 56, he starts every offensive play for the Muskogee Ruffers, not the quarterback, the offensive center, James Moore, our guest in our pregame countdown to kickoff. Back with head coach Travis Hill after this timeout on Ruffer Football 2021.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
It's a special time of the year at J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee. No tricks. I hope we get this right. Oklahoma, it's treats for trade-ins, and we need trade-ins. Come get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy your new Chevy. No tricks. Get an appraisal at the dealership or at your home. Treats for trade-ins up to $1,500 extra. No tricks. J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee. 144 West Shawnee.
Welcome back on Ruffer Football tonight from S.E. Williams Stadium in Tulsa. Muskogee on the road against the Hornets of Booker T. Travis, it seemed like just yesterday we were talking about game 1, and now here we are tonight, game number 9.
We always tell the kids and tell everybody else, once the first game goes, it rolls fast. You know, it seems like it takes a while up until that point, but man, once it rolls through quickly. And here we are in game 9. Beautiful. I was October still. I was wanting to say November, but a beautiful October night. So we're off and running. Let's go get it done.
Simply put, tonight's ball game is a must-win situation for the Ruffers. I mean, you can take all the point possibilities in mind, but when it comes down to what you have to do, you have to go out and win if you want to play in the postseason.
Yep. No, we had goals at the first year, and every year. Coach Hill, Coach Team is number 1 goal is get in the playoffs. Number 2 is win a district, and number 3 is win a state championship. And you kind of see those go in order. So tonight is the last opportunity we will get to get in the playoffs. So it's a must-win. There's some points involved. We're not going to get all those details and everything like that. We got to go get a win. So we're excited tonight to see if we can go out there and play well. And we've worked hard all week long in order to do that. And our kids know where they stand too, and I'm sure the Booker T kids understand in the circumstances too.
Head coach Travis Hill, our guest here in this segment of the pregame show. When we come back, it'll be time to talk with the offensive brain trust, Chris Reisenhuber, to figure out how to put points on the scoreboard against the very fast defense of Booker T. Washington. That when Ruffer Football continues tonight from S.E. Williams Stadium after this timeout. Watching and listening to Ruffer Football 2021.
When you come home after a long day, Bravado Wireless Home Internet has you covered in your neighborhood or on your farm. For a limited time, our unlimited home internet has been discounted to only $49 per month with the purchase of a $99 router. And get this, the first 3 months of service is on us. So what are you waiting for? Make the switch today and visit us at bravadowireless.com for more info and to find a store near you. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Welcome back to S.E. Williams Stadium on this week number 9, Muskogee Ruffer Football on the road against the Hornets of Booker T. Washington. Chris Reisenhuber, this is the first time in a long time for you to come to S.E. Williams.
Yeah, thinking back, I had to play them. I was in their conference district my last year at Miami. We moved up to 5A, but it goes all the way back to my early career at Owasso. Booker T came to Miami that year. Of course, that's the year they won the state championship. And it was a pretty competitive football game, but had some trips at Owasso, so it's an exciting place to play, unique atmosphere, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the offense tonight will go against a defensive team that likes to be aggressive. They'll put 2 guys, one on each edge, and leave those linebackers in the middle and just try to deny anything inside and then let those 4 speedy cats in the backfield cover you up. How do the Ruffers execute an offensive game plan that will not only move the football but also finish and put points on the board?
Well, it is the same type of, Booker T team you see. The defensive backfield's as athletic as anyone in the state. So they, play a lot of man coverage, and anybody that walked in there I think would do the same thing. Allows them to, use some extra hats in the box. So, a challenging situation for any team. But we feel like, this is a night where we can win some battles up inside, like I've said all along, I think Brandon Tolbert's a very good running back. So hopefully we can put the ball in his hands and get the ball moved a little bit inside the box. And then in disadvantage to, even though they have the best man-to-man coverage guys in the state, the disadvantage of that is you can leverage some routes if kids run the routes correctly and make some big plays in the passing game. And there's nobody left at times, so you slip off a tackle or something, you have a chance to take things to the house. So I like some of the matchups, with size with Watson. Whenever they go one-on-one with him, they're going to have a hard time with his size. And then, of course, Bell is such a savvy receiver, and then Caden also offers some on the other side. And Givens has great speed and has come a long ways this year as a receiving. So I like some of those matchups, and we'll be smart with it. And I've been in this game for a long time, so I have a little understanding how to attack man coverage. And just hope we have a good night up front, and the kids understand that we have a chance to, go out here and physically compete with this football team, where, last week we were a little overmatched in all areas.
Ruffers tonight need to have a solid game from the offensive front line. You're still playing musical chairs in a few of those positions. And then when you go to the backfield with Bird at quarterback, he's got to realize that he's going to have to get the football out of his hands in a hurry on passing routes because they will bring pressure off the edge.
Yeah, they're similar to what we've seen out of Choctaw, and those guys, they have excellent defensive ends with tons of speed. I was really happy with the play we had last week out of Bird. I thought there was a lot of good stuff that happened in the first half. The ball just was a little bit off here or there on a couple of throws, but we got what we kind of anticipated. And I think, if Bigsby knows, there were a lot of answers out there that put them in some situations, but still to walk in at halftime and have 0 on the board was, mind-blowing, just makes you scratch your head. But, he for a freshman quarterback, it's really some really good stuff. But you're right, don't have that ball in your hand, you get rid of it, and whenever he does, he's obviously a very accurate and kind of beyond his years for a freshman kid.
Chris Rising over some offensive thoughts about tonight's challenge for the Ruffers against the Hornets defensive unit. When we come back, it'll be time to flip the coin and see what Steve Craver can dial up defensively and slowing down a very fast and aggressive offensive unit for Booker T. Washington. That when we continue Ruffer Football after this timeout. You're watching and listening to Ruffer Football 2021.
We are what makes Oklahoma proud. We are mothers. We are coaches, counselors, and teachers. We are community. We are innovators in medical technologies. We are researchers developing breakthroughs to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. We are everyday people. We are Northeastern Health Systems.
Having a good time is an American tradition, and at James Hodge, we're proud Americans. Now is the greatest time to get together, get out, and get away, no matter where the open road takes you. Your journey starts at James Hodge, an authentic part of Oklahoma for over 50 years. Get in a perfect ride at James Hodge Ford.
The James Hodge Ford Promise. The best selection, the absolute best price, and service guaranteed. James Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main, Muskogee, online at hodgeford.com. Welcome back. Ruffer Football tonight from S.E. Williams Stadium in Tulsa. Steve Craver, defensive coordinator for the Muskogee Ruffers. And, Coach, a big game plan against a good football team in a must-win situation for the Ruffers.
Yeah, week in and week out. We've had our fair share of tough opponents. This week is no different. We've studied them all week. We know what Booker T is. They're historically a fast team, historically put out NFL players. We know what we're up against this week. We're going to try to go out there and play hard, play every snap, and try to see what the scoreboard says at the end.
Obviously, there's skilled talent in the skilled positions. What things does Booker T. Washington do offensively that cause problems for the Ruffers? And on the opposite side of that coin, what can you do defensively to cause problems for the orange and black?
They're very smart in how they get the balls to their playmakers. I think if you was to find a weak point of their offense, it would be the offensive line. We're going to try to take advantage of that offensive line, but they do a good job of getting the ball out on the perimeter and also throwing vertical shots down the field whenever the opportunity presents itself. So if we can keep them in front, get off on the football, establish the line of scrimmage, make them one-dimensional like we try to do week in and week out, we feel like that gives us the best chance to win.
With Boone at quarterback, though, he's a young man that can extend plays and create something when you miss.
Absolutely. Had a year last year. I think he was a first-year starter last year. You can tell that he's comfortable in the system. It's year 2 for him. He's also an athlete. I mean, he probably runs a 4.6, which is considered slow over there at Booker T. But he is efficient with the football, and he'll tuck and run if need be. We're going to try to have to stay in our passing lanes, keep our eyes out of the backfield in the secondary, and also maintain our rush lanes with the defensive line with that guy.
And the biggest note, I don't think it's any surprise. When you try and make a tackle, it can't be with an arm, it can't be with a shoulder. It's got to be a wrap up, finish, and take them to the backside.
There ain't no doubt. It's near shoulder, near hip is what we try to teach here at Muskogee. These guys, our defensive guys, are getting better by the week, but it's hard to break those old habits when bullets start flying. But again, we practice all week long trying to fit up on the ball, trying to get 2 guys at the point of attack. That way we can gang tackle. We're hoping that can be the case tonight.
Certainly it helps to have everybody back, too, in their comfortable positions.
No doubt it does. Like I said, we've got some guys that stepped up, some young guys, some sophomore guys that are still learning certain situations on the football field, but they're giving us everything that they got. And I think if the defense continue to give us everything that they got, we'll eventually find the places for those guys to be successful and hopefully become a better defense.
Steve Craver with some defensive thoughts prior to tonight's game against the Hornets of Booker T. Washington. Back with tonight's winning strategy brought to you by Michael A. Finnerty, attorney at law, with head coach Travis Hill. That after this time out on Rougher Football 2021. Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
Hi, welcome to Nissan of Muskogee.
Here in Muskogee, we're just 45 minutes from Tulsa, but us being family owned, like I said, the customers feel like family too.
What makes Nissan of Muskogee different? It's our people and a driving desire to surpass the expectations of our customers.
We care, and that's why they come to us.
Become a part of the family and let our people take care of you. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Bill Uddleston back with head coach Travis Hill with tonight's winning strategy brought to you by the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty, attorney at law. And Coach, when you talk about winning strategies, you first of all have to look across the field and see the talent level of the Hornets. Maybe not as many in number as they have had before in the past, but some very outstanding athletes.
No, Coach Brown, numbers are down, but there's 10 or 11 over there that anybody in the state would love to have. So very talented young men. You mentioned it earlier, they run well. It's their skilled athletes. It starts off with Boone, the quarterback, moves to the number 24, Washington, the tailback, out to Teese, the wide receiver, and a lot of people know the name of Gentry Williams, an OU commit. So there's a lot of speed, great skilled kids over there on that side of the football. So it will, you understand you got to be in the right place in order to make sure you have access to get them down on the ground and of course be in the right place to have any success offensively too.
Great tradition between these two schools that goes back years and years, decades and decades between Booker T and Muskogee. Typically brings out a great crowd. How much does tradition carry into tonight's ballgame, if any?
Well, it's easy. They always talk about that our young generation now is not as big as into tradition as we were. I still think it's huge. And, of course, from a coaching standpoint, with me being from the Tulsa area and knowing the tradition, just being around all this, that was a rivalry of an old school I coached too, by the way. So bottom line is it's huge. I think it's neat. And you know, we kind of want it this way. If I'm a Muskogee Rougher, I want that to be one of our rivalries. Why? Because if we're a rivalry, that's a great rivalry to have, because the tradition they have, the tradition we have, that brings out the best in you. So if it's not a rivalry, let's make it one. You know, let's make it one, and let's get the tradition going. As you take a look at your two teams, Booker T. Washington and the Muskogee Roughers, and you know the players that will be back tonight, the players that can't go, the offensive and defensive game plans, you and your coordinators and coaches have broken those down infinitely. What are the keys to a Rougher victory? What is the winning strategy for Muskogee to pick up a must-need win? Okay. We're going to start off with the number one and foremost, and that our defense has got to tackle well tonight. Something we've been working very, very diligently on. Got to tackle well and be in the right positions. Okay, that's key. If we don't tackle well, the rest of these won't matter. Okay, it's that simple. So, our offensive football has got to possess the football. They got to possess it. They got to put points on the board, because Booker T's going to put a few. Obviously, make sure we take care of the football, possess it, and again in the kicking game, let's see if we can tie the kicking game. I mean, I've kind of passed the idea of winning one. Let's see if we can tie the kicking game. Maybe steal a possession or something from them, again, for possession situations. If we can do those things, Bill, we'll have a lot of success, and we'll be in a situation to win a football game. You just had last comments with your football team. What do you feel is the heartbeat, the mindset of the young men as they take the field here at S.C. Williams? Well, it's been fun watching them process through the year, and they've learned how to compete every night. Now, that doesn't always mean the scoreboards come out where we wanted to, but they've learned how to compete. So I feel real good about it. They're ready to go compete. They're ready to play hard, and I think they're looking forward to the opportunity. Muskogee Roughers against the Hornets of Booker T. Washington here in week number 9 of Rougher football. Time to take a look at the health of the Roughers, brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy. Leo Kraske, athletic trainer from Muskogee Public Schools, will be our guest in our next segment after we continue following this timeout on Rougher Football 2021.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee, trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
Welcome back on Rougher Football tonight from Tulsa's S.E. Williams Stadium, home of the Hornets of Booker T. Washington. Time now for this week's Health of the Roughers, brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy. First of all, Leo, have you had to polish up on your meteorological skills? Because obviously this week with the temperature variances and the rain, you've had to adjust pretty much for everything.
Yeah, I haven't been really having to look at the weather forecast a lot more than I normally do. But we do the same thing with the heat and the humidity aspect as well. Of course, it's been complete opposite every Friday for the past 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, this week we've definitely been keeping an eye on it. Because also, like I said, we've been very lucky. There's been no lightning, but you have to take that into account as well with this type of weather coming through here.
When you get to week number 9, every player is going to have a bruise. Everybody's going to have some soreness, some minor injuries that if the mental focus is not there, that can turn into a major injury. How do you coach the young men through those type of situations to be able to go out and still perform?
The biggest thing we want to do is try and get them into routines. What I mean by that is, and this starts at the beginning of the year. In other words, they get done with practice. Okay, we're coming in and doing an ice bath. We're doing an ice. We're going to ice down. We're going to do our foam roller. We're going to do a little massage, that type of stuff. We're going to get into routines of doing stuff. That way, they know how to take care of their body every day, even if it's something they think is minor. Like as you were saying, it could if it keeps persisting and persisting and persisting, it could get worse and worse and worse, and then become actually a big-time injury. So what the biggest thing we try to do is really push is, hey, get into that routine. Like I said, have your post-practice, post-game routine. Gonna ice it down. As soon as I get down to icing, we're gonna hit the foam rollers. After the foam rollers, then we're gonna do our stretching program, where we might do a little bit more massage aspect, depending on what the injury is and this type of stuff. But the biggest thing is getting them in that routine, so that, like I said, the small problems don't become big.
Leo Kraski, our guest in Health of the Roughers, back with this week's list of kids who will be under the watchful eye, some that will have to stand and watch from the sideline, and those that will be expected to give their all for the Muskogee Roughers. That after this time out for Excel Physical Therapy on Rougher Football 2021.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Bill Huddleston back, Health of the Roughers, with athletic trainer Leo Kraski. No doubt this week's list of kids who cannot play is much shorter than a week ago, which is a big benefit for the Roughers tonight here against Tulsa, Washington.
Correct. Like I said, way down. I mean, we just have the two gentlemen right now, so that's very helpful. But yeah, we have Vernon, like I said, with his knee, the meniscal injury, and then with Mr. Henry, like I said, he's still recovering from the concussion aspect. So, like I said, the policy we have, the protocol we have here in place is if there's any symptoms, we just don't let him go. And I mean, even though he was doing our return to play protocol, he still was having some issues. Thus, we don't take any chances. It's like, listen, you know, we know you want to play. I know you want to go. I know you want to be out there with your teammates. But hey, this is one of those examples of us protecting the kid from the players from themselves at times. Because you're always going to have the kid. They're going as hard as they can. They want to be out there. They want to be playing. They want to be doing stuff. Hey, that's great. I appreciate that. But guess what? We're not going to take that chance.
So other than the two mentioned, everybody else is a go for the best tonight for the Roughers. Health of the Roughers brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy. Back with more Rougher Football after this timeout on Rougher Football 2021. Red Dirt Production Services proudly supports the Muskogee Roughers. Productivity in the oil and gas industry requires every member of the team to know their job and do it to the best of their abilities. Just like in football, teamwork is a number one priority, and that's the mission of Red Dirt Production Services, serving the oil and gas industry through roustabout and well pumping services, along with environmental remediation and pipeline construction. Proud to join forces with the Roughers to win every day the Muskogee way. Red Dirt Production Services says, go Roughers!
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Historical S.C. Williams Stadium.
S.C. Williams Stadium tonight for Rougher Football. And Nick Hampton, throughout the decades of this series between Muskogee and Tulsa, Washington, there have been many magical nights here at S.C. Williams Stadium. I shared a story with you earlier. We were here back during the playoffs, and the Hornets had won so many games in a row. And the invitation by the Steel PA announcer to invite all the Muskogee fans to the Tulsa, Washington victory dance at halftime when it was 21-6. And afterwards, I went up to Night Train Lane and I said, by the way, where is that Rougher victory dance? Because Muskogee came back with a 2-point conversion late in the fourth quarter and won at 22-21. This is a historic place.
They've played a lot of games here. One thing that hasn't changed, though, with Washington is speed. That has been their trademark, their hallmark every year since we've been doing football, is that they always have great speed. This year, the Washington team is a team that has got a couple of Division I talents on it. One's already committed. The other one has got several offers. They have a fairly experienced skill set guys. Most of their skill players are juniors or seniors. If there's one Achilles heel, if you will, is that in their line, they're pretty much all sophomores. They have one senior, but the rest of them are all sophomores, and so they haven't been real tested. And so we'll see if the Roughers can maybe take advantage of that a little bit tonight.
Well, the Hornets come in, though, with an explosive offense, primarily on the heels of those fast guys that you referred to, and whether that's Latham Boone, Gentry Williams, Micah Teese, or Ethan Washington, they can put a lot of points on the scoreboard, averaging better than 46 points a game. But defensively, it's a ball club that will get after you, and they'll dare you to go deep with that four-man secondary. They've limited their opponents to just over 15 points a ball game. But Muskogee feels like they've got the athletes here. If they can just win, as Travis said last week, position by position, play by play, they've got an opportunity to pull off the upset tonight against the still number 2 ranked Hornets of Booker T. Washington.
Well, and I think Steve Craver made a real good point, too. Defensively, it's imperative that the Roughers tackle well tonight. These guys, if you don't get them in the first hit, they're pretty much gone. So you've got to get these guys down when you've got the opportunity. You got the angle on them. Get them down.
Muskogee will won the toss, and they will defer the choice to the second half, and that will give, of course, Booker T. Washington the opportunity to have the football. Nick, you would expect to see a whole lot of Latham Boone. You'll see a whole lot of Ethan Washington, and when Boone puts the ball in the air, he's got a trio of receivers, actually a quartet of receivers, whether it's Teese, whether it's Williams, whether it's Anderson, whether it's Jordan Drew. These are all guys that have played and have been big-time contributors for the orange and black-clad Hornets of Booker T.
Gentry Williams, of course, comes in with 18 receptions on the year and a touchdown. He committed earlier, just a couple of weeks ago, to the University of Oklahoma, where he'll be a defensive back for the most part. Micah Teese is their main receiver that you mentioned. He's got multiple Division I offers he has to choose from.
He's only a junior.
Or just a junior, that's right. But he's still got offers he's looking at. And Latham Boone has come in as a quarterback. He is passed for almost 1,700 yards and 19 touchdowns on the season.
Well, he is the field general. He's the young man that can make things happen. He can extend plays, and like you said, if the Roughers don't fail to wrap up, or if they do fail to wrap up, he's a guy that can also weave his way through the traffic and find his way to the end zone. For Muskogee, Nick, that's going to put a lot of pressure on the defensive ends and the front four as well as the linebackers, but the Roughers tonight will go with that four-man front. They'll play a 4-3 tonight, which is a little bit different from what they've done before. That means Tion Brewer, a welcomed addition back to the front line, along with Devin Whitfield, LaShawn Mans, and at times Jeremy Collins or Travion Houston. Those guys are going to have to do their job against an aggressive-minded offensive front. And then the linebacker core, Deshaun Smith, Logan Elmore, Jalen Lockpour, Ronald Warren, those guys will have big responsibilities as well as Chris Gaines.
Devin Whitfield also will be helped out tonight, too, as he won't quite have as many offensive duties this evening because the Roughers got a couple of the linemen back that were missing last week, and so Devin will play primarily defense this evening, give him a little bit of rest. He is a player that has really, to me, been very impressive, come along, really wasn't a starter when the season started, but has really worked his way in and become quite a force defensively.
I'm also interested to see how our defensive backs can match up with the outside speed of those guys that we mentioned a moment ago, whether it's Teese, whether it's Williams, whether it's Drew, or whatever member of the passing unit of the Hornets. They just like to throw the ball up and let the fast guy go get it, and that's going to mean that Walker Newton's going to have to be on his giddy-up horse. He had the pick six a week ago. Keandre Johns, who has the speed to match with Booker T, he's going to have to focus in on his defensive assignments, and then the safeties, whether that's Jaron Riggs-Brown, Aiden Kemp, Israel Martin, those guys are going to have to just be on full speed, pedal to the metal type defensive pressure.
Well, it's nice, and Johns is back after he missed last week's game, and so he's had a little bit of rest, and yeah, he will be a big key because he's kind of the guy in charge in that secondary as a senior, so it'll be up to him. The rougher secondary has been picked on quite a bit by some of the teams that they've gone against, Choctaw, Booker T. You think back to the early Arkansas games where the defensive secondary really had their hands full. And so, again, tonight they will have to be on their best behavior and tackle in that secondary.
Ruffers giving up 342 yards per ball game defensively, Nick. But, you think about the youthfulness of this defensive squad, and then you compare it with last year's defensive stats, and the numbers are better despite the group being a younger clad group. But tonight they're going to be tested as to how fast and how strong they can go and how long they can go at that high speed. But I think also a key focal point for the Ruffers tonight is how well that offensive line can maneuver against the aggressive defensive front of the Hornets, because they'll use a three-man and then they'll send the two ends crashing off the ends, and they will create a lot of havoc for you defensively. But the front five tonight will have Keyshawn Lee at one tackle, Big Wesley Harvey out the other side. Tion Brewer will see some spot duty. Wesley Harvey, a 6'6", 230-pound sophomore, getting better week by week. Keyshawn Lee, after being out last week, returning to play, 6'4", 240. The guards, Jay Garrett and Devin Whitfield. And then our guest in the pregame countdown to kickoff, James Moore, the 6'1", 285-pound senior, will be at center. How well under pressure again tonight will the bird fly? Jamarian Ficklin.
Well, he had a lot of pressure last week against Bixby. They were all over him and in his face. And Choctaw, too, the week before really gave him a fifth. So, yeah, it'll be incumbent upon that offensive line to really see if they can give him a little more time. Now, Washington not as big as Bixby or Choctaw was defensively, but they, as you said, had the speed, and they will send those backers in frequently.
Rougher Football in 2021 brought to you in part by Cornerstone Funeral Home, J. Hodge Chevrolet, by Bravado Wireless, Pioneer Abstract, and by Northeast Oklahoma Health Systems. Bill Huddleston and Nick Hampton here with you tonight from S.C. Williams Stadium. One of 4 matchups in the district. Sand Springs is at Bartlesville. Putnam City West gets the opportunity to go across the metro area to play Choctaw, and Bixby gets to travel to Ponca City. You can almost pick the winners there, Nick, just by looking back at the previous situation. But we talked about the opportunity for the Ruffers still to have hopes for a playoff berth. They've got to take care of first things first, and that's get the win, and then worry about the points afterwards.
So the Ruffers ready to kick it off. Jordan Drew and Jaden King back deep for the Hornets. And they'll have a couple of other guys back there as well. 4 deep to receive the kick.
Be interesting to see how the Ruffers will attack the kickoff. Will they try and kick it deep and cover it, or will they kind of pooch it down the middle and then go and try to gang tackle? Ruffers in their road green pants, white jerseys. Here's the kick. Little short pooch kick. It's going to bound out in the middle of the field. Hornets will surround it, dancing away through traffic, and then up across the 30 to about the 32-yard line on the return, where it'll be first down at 10. Offensive lineup across the front, DeJuan Craven, Darian Melendez, Mike Ezel, Jaden Owens, and Ramsey Austin from tackle to tackle. The wide receiver core, tight end Ryan Anderson, wide outs Gentry Williams, Micah Teese, and company. And the field general is Lathan Boone. DJ McKinney will be one of those slot backs as well. This time the Hornets will put Washington out to the side, so it'll be an empty backfield. Boone will work out of the 10 personnel, bring motion across the formation. That's Washington. Throw the little swing route out in space, has blockers on the edge. Washington trying the corner to 40, and coming over quickly to make the tackle is Keandre Johns, but not before Washington on that little swing route, able to scamper from the 32 across the 45 to the 47-yard line. First and 10 Hornets, who want to go tempo.
Good blocking out front that time for Washington as he took the little swing pass and had blockers out in front of him on the side, gets 15 out of it.
Jordan Drew, the wide receiver, to the boundary left. Washington now in the backfield off the left shoulder of Boone. Bring motion, counter play, hand it off inside of Washington. Big hit to the line of scrimmage. Ruffers Tion Brewer running face to face with Washington, stopping him actually for a loss on the play, Dick. Back upfield to the 44-yard line. That's the aggressive nature of the defense has got to be here tonight against Booker T.
That's exactly right, and that was a great hit by Brewer. Loss of 3 on the play.
Ruffers in the 3-man front this time. 2 wide receivers to either side. Short side boundary coming to the near side left. That's Teese along with DJ McKinney. Boone, 4 yards deep, out of the shotgun, takes the snap, stands strong, throws in the flat, catches, made it to 47. Ruffers miss on the tackle at the 50. Inside the 45, he slipped the first contact. That's McKinney taking the ball inside the 45 to the 43. Had a chance, Nick, to stop that one virtually for no gain. Missed the first contact, and lo and behold, they pick up 11 of the 12 yards needed.
That's what Steve Craver talked about, getting that first tackle. You got to get him down.
So now 3rd and a yard to go from the 44-yard line. Anderson off the left shoulder of Boone. Bring motion, coming around on the counter. Boone going to peep out on the late pitch to McKinney. He gets on the edge out inside the 40 and down to the 36-yard line. Little counter option to the short side left. And Boone on the pitch to McKinney. The junior 5'9", 175-pounder will take it inside the 40 to the 36. Going to be 1st and 10 for the Booker T. Washington Hornets, who started this drive from their 32. Now moved it to the Ruffer 36-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the wide side right. Ball resting on the left hash mark. 10:07 on the clock. Stopped on that play that went out of bounds. Anderson this time off the heel of Boone. Throw the ball out in the spot. McKinney with the stop-and-go move out of a tackle at the 30. Another at the 25 as he just did a little stop-and-go route, Nick, and ran right past the would-be tackler for the Ruffers and takes it all the way to the 23-yard line. Another Baker's dozen pickup, 13 yards, and a first down and 10, Washington.
And they just keep moving the ball down the field. Not much problem so far for the Hornets as they've just used a little swing pass very effectively a couple of 3 times.
Hornets this time will send trips wide to the left. Throw it out to the short side on that right side of the offense. Making the catch out there was Micah Teese.
Walker Newton right on top of him there to make the quick tackle.
Teese, a 6'1", 180-pound junior, actually stopped behind the line of scrimmage back upfield at the 35. So it'll be 2nd and 11 for the Hornets. In the black jerseys, the white pants, the black helmets with the Hornet along the headgear. 2 wide receivers split in the slot. Inside the hash marks to the left. Out of the shotgun, Boone holds the cadence, posts it up, throws it out in the flat. Catch made at the 30, 25, 20, 15, and finally knocked out of bounds inside the 10-yard line to the 8-yard line for the Hornets.
That was
it's a penalty.
King.
Alexander Brown, was that right? Or Jaden King, but there is a penalty flag down on the play. Flag was thrown around the 14-yard line, so we'll see which way the flag will go. Holding is going to be the call on the Hornets. So that'll take it back upfield. 9 minutes, 10 seconds left to play here at quarter number 1. Hornets with their first offensive series of the night.
So they get about 10 yards on the
It'll actually move from where it was to the 24-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 11. Boone this time will keep Washington in the backfield. Twin receivers to the wide side right. The 6', 175-pound junior going to hand it off to Washington, slamming into the left side of the offensive front. Stood up and pushed back by a host of Ruffer defenders. Good pressure that time inside by the Ruffer defensive front.
Got about a yard on the play.
Jalen Lockpour, one of those Ruffer defenders, making the stop after they'll mark it to the 23-yard line. So it'll be now 3rd down and 10 for the Hornets. This time who will go empty backfield. Trips wide right, twins to the boundary, short side left. Boone takes the numbers, high snaps, waits, scampers to his right, looking to run or throw, being chased, throws it in the flat, catch in space, and out of bounds right at the stick. I don't know if he stepped out of bounds short of the line to gain. Had to go to the 13. Looks like the official is going to mug the foot touching the boundary at the 15-yard line. So now it'll be 4th down and 2.
So King is the receiver on the play, gets 8 on it. Boone so far perfect in 6 throws down the field.
Hasn't been much tight coverage, though. It's been there ready to make stops. So now Drew will be the single receiver to the wide side right. Twins come to the left on a 4th and 2. Hand the ball. Boone's going to keep it. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, but then the second effort will be forward progress to go inside the 13 and down to the 12. Close to the first down marker, depending upon the spot. Ruffers say we've held, but the official says.
Let's see, they're coming over.
They're going to move the sticks, so they're going to give him credit for the first down at the 13-yard line by the hair of the chinny chin. 1st and 10, Booker T. Washington from the Ruffer 13-yard line. 8 minutes to go here in quarter number 1. Hornets started this drive at their 32.
10th play of the drive. This is the 11th play of the drive, actually.
So now Boone with Anderson going to hand off the right side on the counter. He'll go inside the 10 and down to about the 9-yard line. Just methodically moving the ball. You get loss of yard, no panic. Just come right back, get half the distance, and then pick up the rest on the 3rd or 4th downs.
Washington coming into the game 575 yards and 80 carries on the ground for the Hornets.
2nd and 6 from the 9. Anderson this time to the left of Boone. Twins are outside wide to the left. Boone will take it on a high snap, throw it back short side. Ruffers got there quickly. Keandre Johns came like a speeding bullet and wrapped up the receiver Drew out on the boundary. Good quick response that time from Keandre Johns. And the loss will be back up across out to about looks like the 10-yard line.
10 or 11, yeah.
So now it'll be another 3rd down situation for the Hornets.
for the Hornets.
See which way that the coaching staff of the Hornets will opt to move here on this 3rd and 8 from the 11-yard line. Boone this time takes the numbers high snap. Going to float the pass to the end zone. Got past the coverage, and a catch is made in the end zone. Touchdown, D.J. McKinney. Actually, it's Micah Teese, not McKinney. He just took a false step and ran right by Walker Newton. And the perfectly thrown pass from Lathan Boone, an 11-yard scoring touch, and the Hornets are on the scoreboard with their first series here tonight.
68-yard drive by the Hornets.
Hornets set up with a little swing and gate, and the Ruffers don't adjust to it, but then late come and stop the two-point conversion. Good effort that time by Muskogee, as getting there for the Ruffers was Logan Elmore along with Deshaun Smith. Hornets put 6 on the scoreboard. 6:41 left to go in quarter number 1. Ruffers trail Booker T. Washington when we return in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2021.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Tulsa Washington Hornets take the first series and march 68 yards, get the 11-yard touchdown pass from Boone to Micah Teese, but failed on the two-point conversion. And, Nick, it's a 6-0 ball game. Tulsa Washington in front of the Ruffers.
And they did a good job of ball control as they took almost half of the first quarter to do that.
So now Jackson Marsh will put the ball on the tee. Ruffers will have Jaden Bell along with Kennedy McGee back deep. Here's the high, towering kick that McGee will step up and field at the 13, 15, across the 20, and out to about the 25 on the return. And downfield quickly to make the tackle for the Hornets was the man that kicked off, Jackson Marsh.
Don't see that very often.
Not often at all. The ball will be placed at the 25-yard line for the first offensive series tonight for the Bird Crew. Jamarian Ficklin, the 5'11", 160-pound freshman signal caller for the Muskogee Ruffers. In what is a very loud environment here at S.E. Williams Stadium, but you knew to expect that. Trips go wide to the far left, with Taubert, the running back, off the left shoulder of Ficklin. Waits on the snap from James Moore. Hands it off in traffic. Slamming straight ahead, just using that lower body strength with the legs to pound forward upfield, Nick, to about the 28-yard line and pick up a 3 on first down.
Tolbert just keeps those legs going, and as time goes by, you just got to be more impressed with the way he has come along this season. And you got to say that about all these youngsters from Muskogee, even though the season winding down. All these guys are going to be back next year.
Keanu White, Solomon Thompson, and Aiden Walker in on the stop for the Hornets. Second and we'll call it 7. Snap, handoff to Taubert, has a crease across the 30, 35, dives up forward. Ball was down. Looked like he was down, Nick, but they're going to say the ball came loose and marked the football possession of the Hornets of Booker T. Wow. A diving effort by Tolbert, and as he hits the ground, Nick, the ball pops free. But they'll call the fumble, and Ryan Anderson will recover the football, and the Hornets will get it back. Not the way you want to start on that loose ball. Great effort by Tolbert. He had the first down yardage, but he didn't hold on possession all the way to the ground.
Yeah, he got 13 yards on the carry, but trying to vault, can't knock loose.
Now quickly come back the Hornets on an out pass on the edge, and Ruffers will get over quickly and make the stop. On the catch that time, Jordan Drew, the senior wideout for Hornets of Booker T. Washington. 5:50 to play here in quarter number 1. Hornets went 68 yards on their first series after a fumble recovery start their second drive from the Muskogee 43. 5:50 and counting, quarter number 1, 6-0 Booker T. 2 wide receivers this time go to the far right. Drew to the boundary left side. Boone takes a long time on the cadence. Steps 3 steps back. Ruffers blitz off the edge. Pass thrown out in space. Intended for D.J. McKinney. But Boone had to adjust quickly because there was a blitz coming from the outside edge. That time Deshaun Smith was coming on a mission to get into the face of Boone and force the early release incomplete. So it'll be third down.
Boone's first miscue and 10 attempts. He's 9 of 10 for 70 yards so far in the game.
Teese will be the lone receiver to the boundary short side left. McKinney will go out wide to the right. Anderson off the left shoulder. Takes the handoff up the middle, off the first contact, powers his way inside the 35 and close to the first down yardage. Had to go from the 37 to the 32, and they're going to say got just enough. So a 5-yard pickup. It'll be 1st and 10 Hornets. No huddle offense for Booker T. Those twins left and right. Boone will turn and check the sideline for the play call. 1,943 yards in total offense coming in tonight. Now Boone on a little swing route, out in space, caught by McKinney at the 30, inside the 25, finally wrestled to the turf by the rougher defender. Is getting over there that time for Muskogee was Aiden Kemp.
And that'll be close to the first down yardage. Just a little bit short, about a yard short, they're going to say.
Second, and we'll call it. And now they're going to move chains, Nick. We'll call it first down. Okay. Put it at the 22-yard line. Officials running this game very, very quickly. This time out of the pistol formation. Lathan Boone this time will move Washington over to his right side, take the numbers high snap, throw the fade toward Teese to the end zone, pushes off the defender in front of Keandre Johns, secures the pass for the touchdown. Micah Teese, his second touchdown reception of the night. This one, a 22-yard catch from Lathan Boone.
He just kind of did a little hand checking there and just kind of out-jumped the defender for the ball. Made the touchdown reception. So 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for the Hornets.
Jackson Marsh hoping to finalize this 7-point opportunity off points off turnovers. Good snap down this time, and the PAT is up, and it is good. There's a timeout on the field. 4:55 to play in the first quarter. Hornets have buzzed quickly. Tulsa Washington 13, Muskogee Ruffers 0. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2021.
It's a special time of the year at J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee. No tricks. I hope we get this right. Oklahoma, it's treats for trade-ins, and we need trade-ins. Come get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy your new Chevy. No tricks. Get an appraisal at the dealership or at your home. Treats for trade-ins up to $1,500 extra. No tricks. J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee. 144 West Shawnee.
So after a fumble recovery by the Ruffers, Brandon Tolbert, the Hornets go up-tempo once again, Nick Hampton, and capitalize for their second score of the night and the second touchdown pass from Lathan Boone to Micah Teese, and it's a 13-0 ball game.
Well, Washington is too good a team to be giving them a short field like that, and so they were very good. They took advantage of it, and Ruffers now find themselves in a 13-0 hole.
I think during the timeout we had officials get together and adjust. They may be making some changes to the time on the clock.
Yeah, they put some time back on now, about 10 seconds.
I think on the PAT they ran the clock as well, which doesn't by rule occur. But the Ruffers tonight, Nick, have got to hold on to the football. You cannot make turnovers. We saw that be a bugaboo for Muskogee last week with the 3 pass interceptions, and Bixby scored every time you gave them the extra possession, and the Hornets do it again here tonight. So for the second time, Jackson Marsh will kick off. Swings the big right leg, hangs it up high in the sky. McGee will field at the 15, ahead at the 20, 25, 30, use speed, 35, 40, and collared and dragged to the ground, and I think there'll be a horse collar tackle here. The McGee was just an eyelash away that time before Jackson Marsh, the kicker, saved what could have been a kickoff return for 6.
Second time that the kicker has been in on the tackle of the returner for the Ruffers. That's kind of, as we said, unusual, and this time he gets the tackle, but he may also have ended up.
Nope.
No penalty.
Muskogee.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to walk it off on Muskogee.
Holding against Ruffers, is that what they call it?
Yep, that was the call. So the ball will be placed at the 31 where it'll be a 1st and 10. 4:54 to play here in the opening quarter. 13-0 Tulsa, Washington in front. Ruffer football this season brought to you in part by James Hodge Ford, Runs Barbecue, Mike Finnerty, attorney at law, and by Excel Physical Therapy. Second offensive series for the Ruffers. Ficklin, motion across the formation. Counter, give it off inside to Tolbert. Broke the first contact, drives his legs forward, churning out hard yardage. He'll get upfield to about the 36-yard line on a 5-yard pickup.
That's that fake off the jet sweep. Gibbons was the man in motion. They faked it to him, and that froze the linebackers just enough to give Tolbert a little bit of room up the middle for 5.
Nick, we use a crowd mic, but I don't think we
need it
tonight.
No,
right outside our broadcast booth, the open window has the PA announcer Night Train Lane speaker blaring at too loud a decibels, let me put it that way. 2nd down and 5 for the Ruffers from the 36-yard line. Trips go wide left. Ficklin, who hands off to Tolbert in traffic, bounds off the first contact. He'll get upfield to about the 37. Aiden Walker, the junior linebacker, the middle linebacker who came in with 49 stops on the season, gaining the tackle. The Ruffers will face a 3rd down and 4. Have to go to the 41 to pick up the first down.
Well, the 3-man front of the Hornets doing a good job they've obviously studied their game film and know that Tolbert's the guy that they've got to stop, and they've done a pretty good job on him so far. 4 carries for 22 yards.
3rd down and 4 this time. Trio of receivers to the right for Ficklin. Freshman quarterback rolls to his left, looking to turn throw, lobs one upfield, airmails the would-be receiver Jaden Bell. And the left-handed passing quarterback of the Ruffers misses on that attempt, and it'll be 4th down, and it's punting time.
So the Ruffers 3 and out on this possession after fumbling on their first possession, and Washington will end up with fairly good field position on this, you would think.
Skylar Onebear, who's averaging 35 yards per punt, will be on to kick. Hornets will have DJ McKinney deep. High snap, Onebear gets it and is able to kick it end over end. It'll be fielded by McKinney, gets a block, coming to his left, 35, changes direction to 40, and they'll be trapped and dropped at the 45-yard line. Not a bad recovery by the special teams unit that time, Nick, but still about a 13-yard return by McKinney.
23-yard punts, or 33-yard punt by Onebear.
K.D. Freeman in on the stop. So the 3rd series of the night for the Hornets here with 3:22 to play in the opening quarter. Booker T 13, Muskogee nothing. Ruffer football brought to you in part by Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, ServPro, Nissan of Muskogee, and Red Dirt Production Services. Now an empty backfield for Lathan Boone. Will now adjust and bring Washington back into the backfield. They'll swing the swing route out the space. McKinney breaks it. 50 on the corner, 35 at the 30, down the boundary, 20, 15, 10, 5. There's what speed will do to you. You've heard all along, Nick, that speed kills. McKinney, once he got past the first line of defense, it was a foot race, and nobody would catch the junior slot back, DJ McKinney, as he takes it 55 yards, and just like that, the Hornets have their 3rd score of the night on the pass from Lathan Boone.
So that gives McKinney now 89 yards already receiving here still in the first quarter.
Ruffers have been hit fast and strong by the Hornets. And Marsh will be on to try the point after touchdown.
Number 45, Jackson Marsh.
Snap is low, kicks away, and it is good. And with 3:13 left here in the first quarter of action, Tulsa, Washington starting fast like a swarm of hornets, and have put up a 20-0 advantage over the Muskogee Ruffers. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2021.
When you come home after a long day, Bravado Wireless Home Internet has you covered in your neighborhood or on your farm. For a limited time, our unlimited home internet has been discounted to only $49 per month with the purchase of a $99 router. And get this, the first 3 months of service is on us. So what are you waiting for? Make the switch today and visit us at bravadowireless.com for more info and to find a store near you. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Welcome back on Ruffer Football 2021. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and our Ruffer TV broadcast crew. 5-member crew tonight, including a new name, Caden Hoos along with Luke Jamerson, the two guys, along with the three ladies, Mallory Gardner, Madison Grayson, and our producer here in the first half, Bree Gialetti. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton with you. Hornets, Nick. Earlier this summer, I got attacked by a couple of mad wasps, and that's exactly what the Hornets have done here tonight. They've stung the Ruffers 3 times already, here with 3:48 to go. Marsh on the kick again will put it up high. McGee will settle under it at the 15. Kennedy across the 20, 25, out of a tackle and up to about the 30-yard line. You just get the feeling that sooner or later, Nick, he's going to elude one of those would-be tacklers and be able to turn on his sprinter speed, but that time stopped at the 30-yard line.
They just barely got him last time, and the Ruffers had that holding penalty. He almost got away then. And the first time he had the ball, he made a couple of tacklers miss before they got him down. So, yeah, you're right. He's just a couple of steps away from breaking one.
My Place Barbecue West, David Cobb, State Farm Insurance, and Nissan of Muskogee, proud to bring you Ruffer football in 2021. Motion on the counter, head back to Talbert, cuts back to his left, high steps, one tackle, 35, sprints forward across the 40 on a second gear change, and the talented running back, the junior, Brandon Tolbert, able to scamper free from the 30 to the 43. That's a Baker's Dozen gallop, and that's a J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee Ruffer first down and 10.
Ties Tolbert's longest run. He had a 13-yard run in the first possession where he fumbled the ball, you remember.
Jaden Bell will go to the far left on the outside. Caden McGee will be to the boundary wide right. Tolbert off the left shoulder of the left-handed signal color of the Ruffers, Jamarian Ficklin. Bird steps up, shouts out some words of instruction to his offensive line. Now will hand off to Tolbert through a crease, eludes the first contact, but then gets wrapped up in a hurry as he gets forward to about the 40-yard line. That'd be about a 45, rather. Be a 2-yard pickup before the Hornet defense makes the stop.
So they're going to have to see if they can open up just a little bit more of a hole, get ahead of that change. You want to get at least 3 to 4 on that first down run if you can, and they just got 2 that time. So Tolbert's still running, doing a lot of that on his own with good second effort.
Watson and Caden McGee are the two receivers to the boundary wide side right. This time Tolbert on the right side of Ficklin. High snap, Bird loses it, swings it out space, caught out on the edge, out across the 45, across the 50, and into Hornet territory.
I think that's Gibbons, is it?
That is Isaiah Gibbons making the catch and yards after the reception, and he takes it across the 50 to the 47 in Washington territory. Good enough for a J. Hodge Chevrolet. Muskogee Ruffer first down and 10, got a nice little extra boost on a block from Jaden Bell.
Yeah, 9 yards on that pass and run by the Ruffers, and that is the second first down for the Ruffers this evening.
Watson, Gibbons, and McGee are to the wide right. Ficklin in the pocket, stands strong, throws a deep ball down the boundary looking for Bell, who's being guarded out on the outside edge, and a late flag coming. There was more than just incidental contact that time by Jordan Drew, who was matching up with Jaden Bell.
Drew got his hands on Bell as just about the time the ball got there. The flag, I thought, a little bit late getting there because it was seemingly fairly obvious. But nonetheless, the penalty marked off against the Hornets. That'll cost them 15 and give the Ruffers a first down.
Another J. Hodge Chevrolet. Muskogee Ruffer first down and 10. Jordan Drew, just listening, a very talented defensive back along with Jaden Keene. Those guys had a lot of interceptions a year ago, Nick. And so far this season, they've had 8 as a group. How to move the ball to the 32-yard line will be first and 10. 1:36 and the clock stopped on the penalty. Ruffers started this drive from their 30. Jamarian Ficklin, hands on hips, just staring over at Chris Reisenhover for this signal inside.
So the Ruffers trying to keep this drive alive, started at their own 30-yard line, now down to just about the Booker T 30.
Now this time the Ruffers will put Bell and Kennedy McGee to the left. Bring motion and whistles fly. Muskogee, with the play clock running down, takes a timeout. We'll do the same. 1:36 left, quarter number 1. Tulsa, Washington, starting fast, 20-0 over the Ruffers. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2021.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and the Ruffer TV crew with the sights and sounds of tonight's game from historic S.E. Williams Stadium. S.E. Williams Stadium on the north side of Tulsa. Ruffers will have a 1st and 10 out of the timeout from the Hornet 32-yard line. Nick?
Other scores in 6A2 tonight. Bixby leading Ponca City 15-6. Sand Springs ahead of Bartlesville. That's one we'll keep an eye on. 6-0 in the first quarter of that game. Putnam City West being hammered by Choctaw in the first quarter, 23-0.
Trips wide to the right. Little counter step by Ficklin. Throw underneath. Catch is made by Watson at the 30. He's wrapped up and dropped quickly. Ruffers had all the wide out attraction coming to the right side and then threw back on the short outside the hash mark, going from the 32 to the 28-yard line, a gain of 4.
So that's a way to get kind of ahead of the chains there on first down. Get 4 yards out of it, keep the drive, keep it on moving down.
Just kind of had an idea the Hornets knew the play was coming because all the defense never left, and Dalen Mays was one of the outside guys on that side making the stop. Now motion. Ficklin going to hand it off to Talbert through a gap at the 25. Still on his feet, powers forward. I believe he's got the first down. Appears to get to the 21-yard line. That'll be a 7-yard pickup at a J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee Ruffer 1st down and 10.
Boy, Talbert doing just a fine job. Just a slight delay that time, opened things up a little bit, and bounced off one tackler and found the hole and got 7 out of it for a first down. As the Ruffers continue to drive, this will be the 7th play of the drive.
Will linebacker Solomon Thompson made that last stop. Now, this time the Ruffers will bring him again motion. They'll fake the jet sweep, hand it off to Talbert, try to bounce it on the edge, runs over a tackler at 20, at the 15, at the 10, 5. Talbert, the bull rush, running back, runs over a would-be tackler and gallops the distance. 21 yards for a Muskogee Ruffer. James Hodge Ford, touchdown.
Great run by Talbert. Boy, he just pancaked that one tackler, just lowered his shoulder, ran right over him, and went the last 11 yards untouched.
Wasn't able to see exactly who the player was that he steamrolled.
Probably the guy holding his shoulder on the Washington side.
So now after the touchdown, Ruffers will try the PAT. Skyler One Bear on to try. The snap is high. Bell gets it down. The kick is a line drive boot. It's good. And with 27 seconds left to go in the first quarter, the Ruffers march 70 yards for 7 points and cuts the gap to 13. 20-7, Tulsa, Washington on top of Muskogee. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Ruffer Football 2021.
We are what makes Oklahoma proud. We are mothers. We are coaches, counselors, and teachers. We are community. We are innovators in medical technologies. We are researchers developing breakthroughs to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. We are everyday people. We are Northeastern Health Systems.
There you hear the drum cadence, Nick, and in my many, many years to come to S.C. Williams Stadium, that's kind of been a staple of the atmosphere here. Beat the drums loud and strong from the time you get in the stadium till they turn off the lights, and the Hornets will have to refocus, though, because the Ruffers just marched it right down their throat. Brandon Talbert doing most of the work. 21-yard gallop to the end zone to make it 20-7.
You mentioned the bands, and like Muskogee used to have a just huge band. I remember times coming up here with Washington's band, a lot of show, a lot of noise. Their band has shrunk considerably as well over the years, but still have that drum cadence.
An impressive 70-yard drive for the Ruffers to get points on the board. And Skyler One Bear will kick off now for the second time here with 27 seconds left to go in the quarter. Ruffers again going to squib this kick right down the middle of the field, and the alert effort of the Hands guys up front able to secure the loose ball as Brandon Barkey will recover the ball.
Give up pretty good field position, I got to say, though.
You do give up field position, Nick, but when you're scared, and I use that word cautiously, but when you have to be focused at all times with how fast this speed can burn you for 6 points, you take your medicine. So the Hornets this time will go with 10 personnel. They'll have everybody out and Boone by himself in the backfield. Bring motion in Anderson. Swing the route back to the short side. Blockers are out in front. Boone at the 50. Or rather, that's Anderson splitting defenders. And he goes inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. 43, that's Washington on the reception. He goes across the 45 to the 43 on the opposite end. 14 yards on the swing route and a 1st and 10 Washington. Clock stopped, and now they'll set it ready for play. Hornets this time will have Teese along with Washington to the boundary, short side left. Play clock counting down to 7 as Boone will just wait. And I think the first quarter clock's going to expire, and that'll be the end of the first 12 minutes of play tonight from Washington and Muskogee. After one quarter of play tonight, Washington 20, Muskogee 7. We're back in 1 minute on Rougher Football 2021.
Having a good time is an American tradition, and at James Hodge, we're proud Americans. Now is the greatest time to get together, get out, and get away, no matter where the open road takes you. Your journey starts at James Hodge, an authentic part of Oklahoma for over 50 years. Get in a perfect ride at James Hodge Ford.
The James Hodge Ford Promise. The best selection, the absolute best price, and service guaranteed. James Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main, Muskogee, online at hodgeford.com.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
In the first quarter,
ready to go at the start of the second quarter. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton with you. 20-7 Washington. Hornets have it at the rougher 43-yard line. Boone at quarterback with Washington just right, going to hand it off to Washington. Broke the first line of scrimmage, but then the Roughers are there with backups. Logan Elmore, the senior middle linebacker, who had 13 tackles on the season coming into tonight's game, gets a nice stop there, holding Washington to a net gain of 1 yard.
That's what the Roughers have got to do defensively, really not let them get that second, third effort off the line. The Roughers defensively trying to control this kind of young offensive line of the Hornets that are primarily sophomores.
McKinney and Drew will be to the right. Micah Teese lined up out wide by himself to the left. Boone takes the waist-high snap, drops straight back, throws up the middle, high, pass is intercepted. Diving effort. That time in the defensive secondary for the Roughers. I think that's Jared Riggs Brown that came down with the INT, but the Roughers get their own taste of a turnover on a diving effort and able to get the pass interception.
Great effort by Riggs Brown, and after the pass was tipped, it was high. He made a diving effort and picked it up off the shoe tops for the interception, and the Roughers will start 1st and 10 at their own 17.
Well, after a near-perfect first quarter, Boone starts out with a big mistake there. 17-yard line, or 18 as they mark it. Counter, handed off to Tolbert, slips a tackle, 25, on his feet, 30, 35, 40, across the 45. He won't outrun everybody, but then he fumbled the football again, Nick, and the Hornets pick it up. They're coming back upfield across the 50, 45 out of a tackle. Isaiah Gibbons will finally sling the ball carrier out of bounds. Isaac Covington was the man on the fumble recovery. The ball knocked out of the hands of Brandon Tolbert. I think that was Gentry Williams that caused the fumble, Nick, and the alert effort that time of Isaac Covington. And just like that, it's turnover versus turnover, and the Hornets have the football right back.
Wow, and that was a nice run by Tolbert. He had about 30 yards on that carry and then fumbled it. And once again, the Hornets knocking on the door of the red zone.
So now with the football back in their possession. Kieran Ross and Jordan Drew will be wide receivers to the left. Boone looking for some redemption, takes the snap, throws it out of space, caught by Ross out of the edge, has a blocker, 25-20, and finally going to be tripped up as the rougher defender getting over there was Walker Newton, stopping that one after a 9-yard gain. They're actually going to think where they're going to mark it close to a first down.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Officials, however, are talking. There may have been a penalty on the play. We'll see.
I didn't see the flag, but that's kind of well, maybe there's a.
Yeah, they're going to walk it back. Holding is going to be the call on Washington. They get a lot of guys out in front on those little swing routes and then just dare you to try to take them on. And the scamper will be erased on the holding penalty and move it back to the 33. So all in all, it's a 5-yard loss, but it'll be first down again and 15. 10:41 to play here in the first half. Ruffers go 70 yards on a 21-yard touchdown run by Brandon Tolbert to cut a 20-0 zip, a 20-0 lead by Washington down to a 13-point margin.
And Boone's having quite a night so far. He's 14 of 16 passing with an interception, 3 touchdowns, and 177 yards.
So now first and 15. Hornets, after the huddle discussion over on the near sideline, will bring back the offense. White pants, the all black jerseys, and those big and easy to read numbers on the back of the jersey.
Isn't it nice to have that? My gracious, we've had so many we haven't been able to read.
This time Washington will be off the left of Boone. He'll take the numbers, high snap, hand it off. Changing directions, this is
McKinney, I think.
DJ McKinney. He'll weave his way between would-be tacklers and scamper inside the 30 down to about the 26-yard line. So that'll be a 7-yard gain, getting about half of the yardage that was needed. It'll be second down and 8 yards to go. For football on the final time for the regular season on the road.
Second down, 8.
Back home next Friday night for senior night against Ponca City. Second and 8. McKinney is the running back. Boone is the quarterback. Grayson Chalk is one of the receivers to the near side along with Jordan Drew. Long cadence. Boone's going to keep it. Trying to get to the corner. Has a blocker. Escapes an arm tackle to 20. Drags the tackle to 15. And finally will be shoved out of bounds at about the 11. But, Nick, we saw a perfect example of what the defensive coaches, including Steve Craver, hammered home every day in practice. You cannot arm tackle the Hornets. You cannot just shoulder tackle them. You've got to wrap, drive inside, wrap up, and take them to the turf.
Boone really not all that fast, but he had so many blockers out in front of him that really made it an easy run.
Now that little swing route out in space, caught at the 10 and a block. Walker Newton has no way to get to it. A good block from Jordan Drew and a nice catch by DJ McKinney, and he takes it into the end zone for the touchdown on the 11-yard touchdown pass. 4th touchdown toss of the night for Lathan Boone.
Second for McKinney on the receiving end.
But that touchdown completion, Nick, set up because of the added blocking from teammates.
And again, the turnover by the Ruffers proves costly.
So now Marsh will be on to try the all-important PAT. Pressure comes up the middle. The kick is blocked. And the PAT conversion will fail. I think that was Walker Newton getting the deflection. So it'll be a 26-7 advantage for Tulsa, Washington when we return to S.C. Williams Stadium in 30 seconds on Rougher Football 2021.
Pain is temporary. Pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Well, after the Ruffers turn it over, Nick, for the second time tonight, Tulsa, Washington makes Muskogee pay for it. Brandon Tolbert had two big runs, both having the ball knocked free, the last by Gentry Williams. The loose ball was picked up by Isaac Covington and got it into scoring position, and then Lathan Boone found DJ McKinney and 6 points on the scoreboard.
Tolbert's having a good night, 98 yards on the ground, but the two fumbles have really hurt.
So now Marsh will kick off as the Hornets will defend the north end of SC Williams Stadium. This time they'll kick it to the goal line to Jaden Bell. He'll go to his right, change gears at the 15, the 20 through a crease, 25, 30, out across the 35, jukes a tackler, and all the way up to the 41-yard line goes Jaden Bell.
First time they've kicked it to Bell tonight, and I think they understand why. They don't want Bell to have the ball. He made a nice return as he takes it from about his own 10 back up to spot it right at the 40. So nice return by Jaden Bell.
9:31 to go here in the first half. 26-7, Tulsa, Washington in front of Muskogee. Scoreboard update brought to you by Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. Ruppers are needing some insurance, Nick, and they need it coverage in a hurry. And the Ruppers would want to call for any insurance needs. Your State Farm Insurance agent, David Cobb, 918-682-2511. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Well, let's give it to Tolbert. He's been the man who made the big yards tonight, and the Ruppers have some confusion, have to call a timeout.
Can't get the right personnel set up in the right formation, and the Ruppers will spend their second timeout of the first half. 9:30 left to play in the opening two quarters. Tulsa, Washington with a 26-7 advantage. Muskogee tonight, as we mentioned here on the road at SC Williams Stadium, back-to-back road trips against two of the three juggernauts. Last week at Bixby, tonight here against Tulsa, Washington. Next Friday night, the regular season finale, back at historic Indian Bowl against the Wildcats of Ponca City on senior night.
Some other scores in 6A1 this evening. Jenks leading Edmond Memorial 13-0. And let's see, Westmore's ahead of UConn. Broken Arrow ahead of Norman 7-0. That game now has moved into the second quarter. And Owasso beat Moore last night by a score of 49-28.
26-7 is the score here. Rupper Football 2021 brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, by Northeast Oklahoma Health Systems, Pioneer Abstract, and by the Power of Connection, Bravado Wireless. First and 10 from the 40 now. See if the Ruppers can hold on to the football. An extra running back in. Talbert will get the handoff, and at that time, the Hornets knew where the ball was going. They guessed right and ran right into it. Just good.
Loss of two on the play by Tolbert as he ran right into the teeth of the oncoming linebacker.
Isaiah Gibbons was in as another running back that time, Nick, but it didn't pay dividends. So now the Ruppers will change the offensive set, put Gibbons in a slide along with Bell outside the hash mark to the wide left. Ficklin takes the chin high snap, throws it out in space to Bell, trying to find a place to elude tacklers, and he's going to be corralled and had no place to scamper free. Got back to the line of scrimmage, but the Ruffers now will face third and long, third down and 12.
Actually lost about a yard on the play, it looks like. That play was slow developing, and Ficklin's pass was a little behind Bell, so he had to kind of come back and get it. By the time he could get the momentum going back upfield, Washington was on him.
This time the Ruffers will put three wide to the left, or to the right. One of those being K.D. Freeman. Ficklin in the pocket, sets his feet, steps up in the pocket, throws upfield, caught by Caden McGee. They'll mark the forward progress to the 46-yard line, and then the gang tackle again. The ball stripped out of the hands of McGee, but it was after the forward progress was stopped. So the game will go from the 37 to the 46-9. It's fourth down and 4. Now, Nick, with 7:59 to go in the half, is this where you roll the dice and try to make something happen?
Well, I don't think so, but I think that Travis Hill has decided, we've got to at this point in time.
Jaden Bell will be the single receiver to the left. Talbert is the running back. Twins outside the hash mark to the right side. Ficklin on a hard cadence trying to get the Hornets to jump. And now a timeout taken by Booker T. So the Hornets wanted to make sure they had the right defensive set. We'll take the break as well and return to SC Williams Stadium. Tulsa, Washington 26, Muskogee Ruppers 7. Back after this timeout on Rupper Football 2021.
Hi, welcome to Nissan of Muskogee.
Here in Muskogee, we're just 45 minutes from Tulsa, but us being family owned, I mean, like I said, the customers feel like family too.
What makes Nissan and Muskogee different? It's our people and a driving desire to surpass the expectations of our customers.
We care, and that's why they come to us.
Become a part of the family and let our people take care of you. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanandmuskogee.com.
So a 4th and 4 situation as we return to S.E. Williams Stadium. Ruffers trailing 26-7.
4A scores. Hilldale leading McLean 2-0 in the first quarter. Wagner easily is big game for them. They're on top of Grove 20-7 in the second.
Now after a couple of hard cadences, Ficklin will step back and he'll kick it. High kick that's going to go off the side of his foot and bound around, and it's going to net.
Let's see where they're going to mark it at the.
Wow,
coming way back up.
Went off the side of the foot of Ficklin and out of bounds at the 42-yard line. So that's only going to be a 12-yard punt, Nick. And go from the 46 on one end to the 42 on the other.
Yep.
That's a tough gamble to take, and especially when you shift and let Ficklin do the punting.
Yep, it is.
The Hornets are going to get very good field position here. Leading 26-7, the high-powered offense of the Hornets of Booker T. This time will put 2 wide receivers out wide to the right. Purdom and Drew swing the pass inside off a would-be tackle. Turning the corner is Covington. He's around the outside, blocking the back. No penalty zone. Finally going to be a tackle made. Covington going down the sideline. Ruppers finally chasing it down. That's a sophomore that time, Nick, on that little outside move, and he takes it all the way inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Nice run by Covington. He had good blockers out in front of him.
Ruffers had a defender out there that just got blew up from behind. Now they'll mark the ball and put it back at the 11.
A 50-yard run by Covington.
Quick snap, handed off again to Covington, going straight ahead inside the 10 before he's hit by one of the Ruffer defenders. Logan Elmore, the first guy to get at the knees of the Hornet running back. Isaac Covington, a 5'11", 180-pound sophomore, came in with 15 carries on the year for 141 yards, but he got 50 on that last gallop. Second down and 5 from the 6. Swing route out in space, good blocking. Drew just set it up on a nice, easy catch and run, and it's again DJ McKinney. 6:51 left in the opening half of play, and the Hornets are spinning the numbers almost as fast as you can spit them out. 58-yard drive. And the same play that has scored on a couple of different occasions, Nick, for the Hornets, as the Ruffers just unable to come off blocks on the edge, and McKinney scampers in for the touchdown.
5th touchdown pass by Boone.
Snap is down on the PAT, and the kick is good. And there's timeout on the field. 6:51 to go. It's been all Booker T. Washington here tonight. 33-7, Hornets on top. We're back after this 30-second timeout on Ruffer Football 2021.
Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
Well, if you got up, turned away, or just looked away, Nick, you missed an explosive offensive unit. 58 yards, and Covington doing most of the damage, but Latham Boone and DJ McKinney are having a night to remember here on senior night. The only bad thing about it is that both McKinney and Boone will be back next year because they're both juniors. 33-7 is the score. Now, there was on the PAT a personal foul penalty assessed against Washington. So the Hornets will kick off from their own 25-yard line.
4th penalty against the Hornets tonight for 50 yards, and this should give the Ruffers pretty good position.
33-7. 5 touchdown passes here in the first half for Latham Boone. Boone came in with 19 on the year.
Ruffers need to make something happen here. If they can get good position and get a good return, should have a relatively short field.
Muskogee in the green pants, white jerseys with the flat green helmets. Marsh with a high end over a kick. Bell will retreat inside his 15 at the 13. Come up the middle, try to bounce to the corner, change direction, break a tackle. There's a penalty flag down. I think that's probably going to be either a block in the back or a hold.
Yeah. So it's a nice kick by Marsh, too, from his own 30 down to the 25 or 15 of the Ruffers.
There's a penalty flag on the play.
We'll wait to let our officiating crew mark off the penalty. Holding is the call on the Ruffers. So that'll be walked off from the 35 and put it back at the 25 where the Ruffers will start first down and 10. Ruffer football this season brought to you in part by My Place Barbecue West. That sounds really good right now, Nick, because I didn't have the dinner bell ring before we got started tonight's game, but a plate full of barbecue ribs or the brisket, the barbecue chicken, or just the barbecue plate. Make your place My Place Barbecue West, a friend of Ruffer football. So now Ficklin, the freshman quarterback, takes the chin high snap, throws it out in space to Talbert. Change direction, nice move. Talbert trying to break out of a tackle, and he'll get good gain from the 25 to about the 32-yard line. That time, Nick, he slammed on the brakes and was going full speed to his left and went back into the middle of the field and able to pick up a couple of extra yards.
Nice move, yeah. Good agility there by the big guy, Talbert, as he made a nice move to get an extra 3 yards out of it.
Talbert with 96 yards rushing so far here in the first half, but 2 critical fumbles. One of those just knocked out by Micah Teese. Now back in the pocket, Ficklin. Left-hander slings it upfield. Pass is deflected away. Pass was thrown low, intended for Anthony Watson. And pretty good contact that time by Micah Teese, the junior.
Teese got there just at the right time, hit him just as the ball got there and knocked it loose.
You see why he's got a lot of D1 recruiting attention. He's being got offers as a junior by Notre Dame, Texas, Iowa State, as well as Oklahoma. So now 3rd down and 3 for the Ruffers. Have to reach the 35. Talbert and Ficklin in the pocket. Bird's going to throw the underneath route. Pass is knocked down, almost intercepted. Good defensive effort that time by Solomon Thompson as they were looking inside on that little bubble screen. And the pass incomplete. The Ruffers this time will have to punt the ball away. That stops the clock with 6 minutes left here in the first half of action. Looking forward to an interesting halftime production. Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jared Mendenhall, will be aboard to talk about the current state of Muskogee schools. Good snap by one bear, and he'll put it up in the night sky. The ball will hit the Hornet downfield blocker, and the Ruffers are going to get a big break here. The defensive, or the kick special teams member that time for Washington, Aiden Walker, was trying to set up a block, Nick, and the punt hit him right in the back hindquarters. And the Ruffers are going to get the ball right back on a special teams error by Washington.
Well, that's a nice break for the Ruffers now. They'll have it
45-yard line in Hornet territory. Dr. Jared Mendenhall will be aboard with his current state of affairs for Muskogee Public Schools. That's coming your way at halftime. 1st and 10, Muskogee from the Hornet 45. Ficklin in the pocket. Left-hander sets up, waits, wants to throw the ball downfield. Open is McGee at the 15, at the 10, the 5, walking the sideline. Did he get in? Now the official's going to come over and say McGee stepped out of bounds at the 11-yard line, but that's a nice catch by Caden McGee as the ball was thrown where nobody else had a chance to get it, Nick, and McGee adjusting to it. And that's a nice combination, freshman and sophomore that time, going from the 45 to the 11, 34 yards and a J. Hodge Chevrolet. Muskogee Ruffer first down and 10. So now McGee this time will go wide to the right. Bell will come to the left side. Ruffers will use a 2 tight end formation. Talbert off the right of Ficklin. Handed off in traffic through a small crease, but there's tough sledding as he gets forward for about a yard to the 10. 5:35 and counting. Ruffers, after getting the big break on the special teams error by Washington, go for the big score, and McGee with a nice catch on that 34-yard pass completion.
Ruffers want to knock this in, and also, if they can, take some more time off the clock.
Talbert off the left shoulder of Ficklin. Little step back, throw it over the top. Talbert's out there, but it's a little too tall. Talbert kind of got held up trying to come through it on that little slow-releasing pass over the middle. Ficklin looked like, Nick, he was going to run following Talbert through the hole. Then he steps back and floats the pass over the top, and he floats it just a little bit high and long for Brandon Talbert.
Nice idea, though.
3rd down and 9 from the 10. Ficklin with Talbert this time to his left. Bell to the boundary, short side left. Ficklin going to swing it up the field, looking for the receiver out there. That's Caden McGee working one-on-one out on the far side with Jaden King. King doing the good defensive effort, the senior defensive back who last year had 8 pass interceptions on the year. That time had good one-on-one coverage against the sophomore wideout.
Ruffers, they've 4th down, 9 yards to go, and they really have no choice. I mean, they're deep enough. Let's go for it.
Gibbons will be in the slot. Bell will be in the middle, and McGee will be the wideout. Watson by himself to the left. Ficklin in the pocket, waits, throws for Bell over the corner of the end zone. Did he get it?
Yes,
it's incomplete. The pass was juggled. The Ruffer defender trying to say he's got it. Jaden Bell trying to plead with the official, but they're going to say he did not have control of it, and the Hornets will get the pigskin. And Jaden Bell is normally a quiet and reserved young man, but he has a definite difference of opinion with the official that he had control of the football before he stepped out of bounds.
Boy, it was sure hard for us to tell over there. He was covered well, and if he had the ball, it's a great job of being able to haul it in.
So the incomplete pass will turn it over on downs at the 11-yard line. Good stop by the Hornet defense after the Ruffers had a gift-wrapped opportunity go awry. So now from the 11, or actually from the 10, Boone this time will hand it off. Hornets want to run it strong. Ethan Washington, the ball carrier. He'll gallop upfield from the 10 to about the 14, as it appears they'll mark it.
Number 24, Ethan Washington, the ball carrier. Nice shoestring tackle made by the Ruffers. Number 6, Deshaun Smith.
2nd down and 6.
2nd down, 6.
Hornets this time will put Twins out wide to the left. Boone will take the snap on the counter play. He'll keep it coming to the short side right, out across the 15, broke the first tackle, then gets wrapped up around the knees. As getting in there that time for Muskogee was Aiden Kemp. The gain is to the 20-yard line. That's enough for a first down. Actually, the 21 where they'll mark it.
Ruffers had a shot at him back there, but Deshaun Smith couldn't make the initial hit on him at around the 11, and Boone's able to dance away and get more yardage out of it.
6 foot, 175-pound junior quarterback engineering this offense. Twins go wide left for Boone. Washington the running back, and now there's motion up the field. I think DJ McKinney knew the number was being called his way because he took off in a dead sprint prior to the snap of the football, and that 5-yard penalty will be walked off against Booker T.
Gives them 5 for 55 in the yellow flag department for the Hornets.
Ryan Anderson this time will line up with Jordan Drew along with McKinney in the 3-receiver package to the left. Teese will be on the boundary wide right. Boone with his hands at his waist, shouting out instructions, takes the numbers, high snap, stands strong in the pocket, throws upfield. Teese at the 25, shoulder bumped and out of bounds by Keandre Johns at the 29-yard line. So getting back the 5 yards lost on the penalty, plus about 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2. 3:57 to play here before halftime, 33-7 Hornets of Booker T on top.
5th reception for Teese for 58 yards tonight.
Same formation, Twins wide left. Boone with the long count, claps his hands, takes the swing route, out in space. McKinney with a Ruffer defender out there dragging him to the turf. Good effort that time by the Muskogee defensive group. Jalen Lockpour able to get in at the hips of Deion McKinney.
No gain on the play. Tackle made by the respective number 6, Deshaun Smith.
Kenny now with 7 receptions for 107 yards tonight. What, 3 touchdowns?
At third down, a little more than a yard to go for the Hornets. Ruffers show blitz up the middle, try to stand it up at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if they were able to stop the forward progress. The first guy that was in the path of the running back, Washington, was big Tion Brewer. Nick, one of the things just in talking with Tion Brewer is it's marked short of the line to gain. Brewer's got a pretty good pedigree. He's got a older brother by the name of Tramal Ivy. He's got a cousin by the name of Cameron Curl, who just happens to be a pretty talented young man out of the Ruffer football history who's now playing for the Washington football team in the NFL.
Really pretty good credentials, you got to say. Tramal Ivy, folks will remember him as a solid defensive end slant linebacker for the Ruffers.
Ruffers hold it short, so it'll be 4th down and a yard to go. Handoff again, straight ahead out of the shotgun. They hand it off to Washington, break the first tackle, the line of scrimmage, and squirts upfield to the 41-yard line. So altogether, after you break that first line of pursuit, Nick, it's typically going to get you double-digit results, and that time it's exactly what Washington gained, picking up 11 yards for the Booker T. Washington first down.
Gives him 35 on the night in 9 carries, so about 4 yards a clip for Washington.
Clock showing 2 minutes left to go before halftime. 33-7 the score. Washington on top. Scoreboard update brought to you by Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. Now out on the snap. Boone in the pocket. Being chased in the backfield. Steps left. Throws back right. Catch made at the 45 and across the 50-yard line to the 47-yard line. Making the tackle, Ryan Anderson. Anderson, a senior tight end, had only 6 receptions on the season, but the Hornets are slinging it, Nick. They're making their money tonight throwing the football.
But they're not throwing long. They're just these little swing passes out in the flat, and then the receivers are doing most of the damage on yards after catch.
It's what you call the RPO, right? Run pass option. Now Boone with the numbers high snap, stands straight in the pocket, throws up the middle. It's high but caught. McKinney catches it and then drops it, and I think they're going to call it an incomplete pass. Oh, my goodness. McKinney made a catch, took a step, and then the collision with the Ruffer defender, and the ball pops free. McKinney's a little slow in getting up, but they'll call it incomplete forward pass, and I can see that Steve Craver shouting out with the official across the way that the Hornet receiver had control. But the Ruffers also have a guy down too, Nick. That was a head-on collision between the Ruffer defender and the Hornet receiver. Leo Krajewski and the training staff, along with Dr. Pete Fast, out to look at the Muskogee defender. And I think that
McKinney, I think, is the Washington player.
Yeah, and I think it's Aiden Kemp is the Ruffer defender that's still a little bit slow in getting up. 1:27 to go here before halftime.
So the Ruffers trying to see if they can halt this drive by Washington. Like say, Bill said 1:27 left to play here in this first half. We don't need any more Hornet points on the board.
It was Aiden Kemp that was attended to, but it's good to see him up on his feet and jogging off.
Yep. So it'll be 2nd 10 for the Hornets when play resumes.
Wasn't sure, though, Nick, that the receiver, McKinney, didn't have possession of the football, but the official in the back judge blew that one dead immediately. Still McKinney still being attended to by the training staff here at Tulsa, Washington. 1:27 to go here in the first half. Hornets with 5 touchdown passes from Lathan Boone. 3 of those going to DJ McKinney.
And McKinney's had a good night, as we said, 107 yards and the 3 touchdowns.
For football this season, brought to you in part by Cornerstone Funeral Home, by Pioneer Abstract, by Mike Finnerty, attorney at law, by David Cobb, State Farm Insurance, and by Serpro Muskogee and Manhattan Construction, building the future of Muskogee Public Schools. Kenny maybe not realizing he's at S.C. Williams Stadium, Nick, because he's still got his head down as he's walking off the field, but with some assistance. So now the ball made ready for play. 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass.
Kenny kind of favoring that left leg a little bit as he comes off the field.
Gentry Williams will be to the boundary, near side right. Boone out of an empty backfield, going to take it, stand strong in the pocket.
On the play.
Standing around, trying to load Devin Whitfield, working inside of tackler, just extending this play, throws upfield and throws behind the intended receiver, Demetrius Prudhomme. Might have been offside, Nick, but I don't see any loss.
The receiver on this side got about a half-count jump there, but there was no flag.
Gentry Williams, if that's track, Nick, he's disqualified because he jumped the blocks.
Yeah.
Incomplete pass, 3rd down and 10. The clock stops with 1:17 to go before halftime. We'll take our customary 3-minute timeout at the end of the half and then come back with a quick recap of the opening 2 quarters and then hear from Dr. Jared Mendenhall on the current state of affairs involving Muskogee Public Schools. 3rd down and 10 from the 47-yard line in rougher territory. Boone this time with Washington, the running back, stands in the pocket, looking to get on the edge. Brewer giving chase. Now he's going to just throw it long, looking for somebody, and that was Teese that was down there. Boy, Nick, you just know that the Hornets have the speed just to throw it as far as you can and let somebody run and get it. That's kind of been
That's what he did right there, yeah.
It's kind of been the mark of Tulsa Washington offense over the years.
Not sure that Boone really had a receiver in mind. I think he just wound up and threw it in hopes someone would run under it, but Teese couldn't even catch up with it.
Well, I can tell you what, if anybody can, Micah Teese or Gentry Williams certainly are 2 young men that can go get a football that is flying out of control. Incomplete pass, though, results in 4th and 10. So that'll bring on the punting unit for the first time tonight for Tulsa, Washington. Jackson Marsh will be along to punt, and now a timeout is going to be taken by the Hornets. 1:09 to go before halftime, 33-7, Booker T. Washington in front of the Muskogee Ruffers. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2021.
The Muskogee Athletic Department would like to recognize its proud Ruffer Athletics sponsors: Armstrong Bank, Oklahoma Army National Guard, Arvest Bank, Chick-fil-A Muskogee, Neighbors Building Neighborhoods, St. Francis Muskogee, Tommy Nix Auto Group, Springs Skilled Nursing and Therapy. Go Ruffers!
It's Sand Springs 28.
Welcome back to S.C. Williams Stadium. Ruffer defense doing his job there, Nick, to force a punting situation. 33-7, Washington in front of the Ruffers here with 1:09 to go before halftime.
Ruffers would like to get this punt and see if there's anything they can do with 1:09 left. They're going to end up with the ball and deep in their own territory unless they can get a pretty good run back on this.
Jaden Bell will be the return man back deep for the Ruffers as the Hornets trying to get their punting unit aboard. Snap is back to Marsh, and a good high end-over-end kick. Ruffers just get out of the way of this one. Bell's going to let it roll. It'll go inside the 10 to about the 6-yard line. So now with exactly 1 minute left before halftime, what can the Ruffers do 90 yards or 94 yards away from their own goal line, Nick?
It'll be tough. You don't want to get too chancy here and turn the ball over deep in your own territory. Still give the Hornets another opportunity. So I got to think you got to play it relatively close to the vest, get back into the locker room and kind of regroup here.
Each team with one timeout remaining. Tolbert will line up off the left shoulder of Ficklin. Next snap to Ficklin. Steps to his left, throws back to his right, trying to go up the seam, and that was well covered because Tolbert was being double covered on that wheel route up the far boundary.
So Ficklin's missed 5 of his last 6 passes so far. 62 yards so far in 13 attempts through the air for Jamarian Ficklin.
His counterpart, though, has had a heroic night with 5 touchdown passes here in the first half, but 1 pass interception. The clock stops on the incomplete forward pass, 2nd and 10. And now, referee's going to blow the whistles. I think the Hornets sideline was pointing at the clock, saying the
play clock, I don't think maybe started. So we'll see.
37.6 seconds left.
That's also something that happens here at S.E. Williams Stadium. as I remember over the years.
Yes.
Clock operations sometimes were questionable.
So we're still waiting to see.
Referee here, I think, is trying to tell the Hornets referee will signal it off, and I think we'll just replay it and chalk their 25 seconds. They're going to put it back to 55 seconds. Clock had wound down to 37.6 as it did not stop after that incomplete pass. So now second down and 10. Ficklin on a little quarterback draw up the middle. Bird out to about the 9, and then just got body slammed, picked up and slammed to the turf. That is Aiden Walker. Bird is not the biggest guy, Nick, but Walker at 6 foot, 185-pounder, a very physical middle linebacker, and the run by Ficklin gets out to the 30-yard line, and the Hornets will call timeout.
So they're going to preserve what time is left.
That's confidence in your offense, though, Nick, that even with less than a minute to go, you can make something positive out of this situation.
Of course, now the Roughers want to try and run as much of this as they can on their third down, keep the ball on the ground since Washington's out of timeouts.
Kind of makes me
can't stop the clock again.
Not second-guessing play calling, but it just kind of makes me wonder why you threw the ball on first down if you're trying to run out the clock.
Yeah, that's true.
Rougher football this season brought to you in part by Runt's Barbecue, who is the host of our Tuesday night Muskogee Rougher Coaches Show, 6:30 to 7 every Tuesday night, whether it's on Rougher TV or on radio at 1017 KTFX Okie Country. We'll be right back there next Tuesday night to delve into some of the best barbecue in the Muskogee area. Talk all things Rougher football with head coach Travis Hill, 6:30 to 7 from Runt's Barbecue. Now third down and 6. Ficklin going to roll to his left, slings a pass upfield, caught at the 20 and out to the 25-yard line goes Isaiah Gibbons. Crossing route, Bell ran up the seam, up the boundary, and Gibbons coming across from right to left makes the catch, and he gets out to the 24-yard line. More than enough, 11-yard gain. That's a J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee Rougher, first down and 10.
Second catch tonight for Gibbons.
So now the clock will start as the Roughers adjust, bring motion. McGee handed off to Tolbert, wiggles his way between would-be tacklers out across the 25 to the 26. That'll get about a yard. And that's more than likely will be the final play of this first half of action. Roughers trying to scurry to the line of scrimmage. Ficklin still staring over it. I don't think they're going to snap the football as we're down to 3, down to 2, down to 1, and that's going to do it. First half is done. Hornets have slapped the Roughers between the eyes with 5 first-half passing touchdowns by Lathan Boone and have opened up a 33-7 advantage over the Muskogee Roughers here at intermission. Stay tuned. After this 3-minute timeout, we'll come back with a recap of the numbers, and later on in the half, we'll talk with Dr. Jared Mendenhall on the current state of affairs with Muskogee Public Schools. That's when Rougher football continues after this 3-minute timeout on Rougher Football 2021.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
Red Dirt Production Services proudly supports the Muskogee Roughers. Productivity in the oil and gas industry requires every member of the team to know their job and do it to the best of their abilities. Just like in football, teamwork is a #1 priority, and that's the mission of Red Dirt Production Services, serving the oil and gas industry through roustabout and well pumping services, along with environmental remediation and pipeline construction. Proud to join forces with the Roughers to win every day the Muskogee way. Red Dirt Production Services says, "Go Roughers."
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
It's a special time of the year at J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. No tricks. I hope we get this right. Oklahoma, it's treats for trade-ins, and we need trade-ins. Come get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy your new Chevy. No tricks. Get an appraisal at the dealership or at your home. Treats for trade-ins up to $1,500 extra. No tricks. J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. 144 West Shawnee.
When you come home after a long day, Bravado Wireless Home Internet has you covered in your neighborhood or on your farm. For a limited time, our unlimited home internet has been discounted to only $49 per month with the purchase of a $99 router. And get this, the first 3 months of service is on us. So what are you waiting for? Make the switch today and visit us at bravadowireless.com for more info and to find a store near you. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Welcome back to historic S.E. Williams Stadium here in North Tulsa. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and the Rougher TV crew tonight. In the first half, got started in a big hurry as the Hornets offense went high gear, and through the first 2 quarters took advantage of 2 big Muskogee turnovers and added 2 more touchdowns to that, all together in the first half. Junior quarterback Latham Boone with 5 touchdown passes, and the Hornets have built a 33-7 advantage over the Muskogee Roughers. Nick Hampton, statistics I think are relatively similar to the scoreboard result, but really what makes you kind of second-guess the situation is what if those 2 turnovers didn't happen?
That's exactly right, but they did, so let's see what the numbers look like. The Roughers ran 27 plays in that first half. They had 7 first downs, rushed 13 times for 103 yards on the night, with Brandon Tolbert getting 99 of those yards. In fact, he had all the carries except the 1 run by Ficklin on the night. Passing tonight, speaking of Ficklin, 7 of 14 for 76 yards. So the Roughers with 179 yards in offense in the first half. 2 costly fumbles, and they were penalized twice for 20 yards. For the Washington Hornets, they ran 40 plays in that first half, 11 first downs, 16 rushes for 126 yards, 20 of 24 passing for Latham Boone, 220 yards, 5 touchdowns, and an interception. So 346 yards in offense in that first half for the Washington Hornets, and they were penalized 5 times for 55 yards in that first half. So pretty much the stats kind of the way you'd think they would be, with the score favoring the Hornets at 33-7.
33-7, Nick, and granted, Hornets did move the ball freely most of the time, but Muskogee's moved the ball more effectively than maybe what some people might have thought against this defensive unit. But still, when they got inside the red zone, that one opportunity where the Roughers failed to score stands really big right now.
And they got it down to the 10-yard line, but just couldn't find the first down yardage. Went for it on a 4th and 9, and it came up empty on the contested pass on the far sideline. So turned it over, and then the 2 costly fumbles by Tolbert gave the Hornets the ball back, and they capitalized on both of them for touchdowns.
33-7 is the halftime score. Tulsa, Washington leading the Muskogee Roughers. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. Then when we return, it'll be time to talk with Dr. Jared Mendenhall on the current state of affairs and other things going on with inside Muskogee Public Schools. That after this 1-minute timeout on Rougher Football 2021.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
We are what makes Oklahoma proud. We are mothers. We are coaches, counselors, and teachers. We are community. We are innovators in medical technologies. We are researchers developing breakthroughs to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. We are everyday people. We are Northeastern Health Systems.
Welcome back to SC Williams Stadium. Halftime, Tulsa, Washington on top of your Muskogee Ruffers, 33-7. It's always good to know what's going on within the district, and has been the case throughout his tenure as Muskogee Superintendent of Schools. Dr. Jared Mendenhall takes the time to visit with the patrons about the current state of affairs, and he brings us tonight here at halftime this week's Superintendent's Report with Dr. Jared Mendenhall.
Well, good afternoon. Today is October the 28th, 2021, and I'd like to welcome you back to another Superintendent video update. This is our 43rd day of school, and I'm happy to report that we are finally getting into a routine now. This is definitely the time of year that is fun for all of our students. They get to dress up for Halloween. As you can see in a few of these pictures, that our staff at Pershing has gotten into the spirit with their costumes. Hopefully they're not planning to eat all of that candy as well. As you know, we have mandated masks at the September board meeting, but there is also an opt-out form that can be filled out if there are any objections to wearing a mask. Our number of positive cases for both students and staff have fallen into the single digits every week since the mandate. So I anticipate lifting this mandate very soon. You might have seen that the district held 2 ribbon cutting ceremonies, one at Tony Getz Elementary and the other at Alice Robertson 8th and 9th grade academy. It is exciting to see our students and staff utilizing these facilities on a daily basis. And again, I want to personally thank you, the community, for voting in the last bond election. You have really made a difference for our students and our staff. We were also able to remodel and refresh Creek and Cherokee and Pershing elementary schools over the summer. These schools have new, safer front entries, new carpet, paint, interactive technology boards in each of the classrooms. And these improvements have really made a difference in the environment of these schools as well. I know that many of you have been watching the new stadium and field house construction. The press box should have most of the steel completed in the next 2 weeks. The slab at the field house has been poured, so you will begin seeing steel go up in November. As I have said to our folks inside the school district, we have to keep our eyes on the prize. The complex called Ruffer Village will be completed next fall, and our first football game will be played in September. A new activity has started this school year to spread more Ruffer spirit across the district. The high school has been conducting pep assemblies at all of the elementary sites. They are including the football players, the spirit squads, the band members, and the junior ROTC programs.
Key on three. 1, 2, 3.
You can see these pep assemblies have been wildly popular for our kids as we grow our new Ruffers. Our kids are having a great time, having fun, and learning what it is to be a Muskogee Ruffer. And speaking of what it means to be a Ruffer, I want you to meet Brian and Rihanna and just listen to their story.
Hi, my name is Brian Marino. I'm 10 and a half years old, and I go to Tony Getz Elementary.
I'm Rihanna. I'm 10 years old, and I go to Tony Getz.
Rihanna has alopecia, which if you're not sure what that is.
Alopecia is a disease, and it makes your hair fall out.
And it can be caused by worry and stress. She's been dealing with it for a couple of years. A couple of weeks she was bullied pretty hard about the way she looked.
Rihanna had come to me and she had tears in her eyes, she was crying. And so immediately knowing her condition and knowing what she deals with, I had a feeling what it was about. And it was the start of the day, so it just wasn't a great way to start a day at all. But as we come into the class to continue our work, whole countenance had changed. It's like the morning incident didn't even happen.
The first time I figured out people were bullying her was when I found out they were bullying about her wig a couple weeks ago.
As I'm about to start teaching, Brian stands up and he said, "Mr. Leatherman, guess what? I'm gonna shave my head this weekend."
I went up to her and gave her a hug and said, "You're okay how you are."
And he said that he didn't like people making fun of Brianna, so he was gonna shave his head and that she was gonna come to school not wearing her wig, and they did that. And ever since then, Brianna's come to school without her wig on and had a confidence and just had a smile about her. And I think it really shows the importance of having good friends. But it's really important on those bad days that you're gonna have to be able to have a friend that could step in and pull you through those bad days. Step in and say, "Hey, we're gonna get through this together and here's how I'm gonna help you." And I think if we could all be a little bit like Brian in that and pay attention to where our friends are hurting and step in that hurt with them, the world would be a much better place.
I love this message that they're sending, that it's not okay to make fun of people just because they look different or you don't understand why they look the way they look. They've done a great job. I admire their courage so much and their friendship.
Isn't that an incredible story of courage, character, commitment, and ultimately compassion for others? Way to go, Brian and Rihanna. In closing, I want to say thank you for tuning in to today's Superintendent's video. I hope you find these informative and helpful as we continue to strive toward continued excellence. And remember, it's always a great day to be a rougher.
Nice to always get an update on the current state of affairs with Inside Muskogee Public Schools, and we appreciate Dr. Jared Mendenhall for sharing his thoughts on what's going on inside your school, Muskogee Public Schools. And Nick Hampton, it is also very nice to see the progress that is being made out near the high school campus and the construction of that brand new football facility that, according to the number one rougher, Dr. Jared Mendenhall, will be ready to go for the start of the 2022 campaign.
Which brings up the topic of next week for the Roughers. Assuming that is correct from what the superintendent says, it'll be the end of an era next week at Indian Bowl as the Roughers play their last football game there.
Be kind of bittersweet, won't it?
It will.
I mean,
it's 89 years, is that what it is?
It's 1939 when the first game was played.
Wow.
Central High School at the time defeated Webster out of Tulsa 12-0. 82 years of high school football, along with middle school football and grade school football, and a lot of soccer action as well there on the field at Indian Bowl. And next Friday night will be the scheduled final game ever to be played on the high school level as that new stadium set to open its gates for the start of the 2022 campaign.
Now, and I'm not sure, we kind of spring this on you because I haven't heard. The newspaper, of course, the Phoenix, has run a poll, and we've been part of the discussions of picking an all-Indian Bowl team, which has our selections and has fan selections, and we can planning to do something with that next week. Do you know?
Well, I'd like to be able to share those thoughts, and hopefully Mike Case will be there, because I'm sure with all the goings on of that being the last game, and game night will be sponsored by Manhattan Construction, who is building the future of Muskogee Public Schools, and they are the construction team in charge of that new facility, as well as all the construction going on within the district. So it'll be nice to kind of see what happens on who's going to make that all-time 82-year best of the best Muskogee Rougher football team. There's some great names that have to be considered.
That was hard to go through and find some of those names, I'll tell you what. And then I think, from what I understand, that maybe next year when we get in the new stadium in one of the early games, they'll get as many of these people together as they can and kind of honor them then.
It'd be very nice to see some of these greats that are still with us. Obviously, many of those have 50-yard line seats each and every Friday night when the Roughers play, whether they're on the road or at Indian Bowl, wherever they play. But, man, I mean, when we were talking about trying to select that group of talented players, I mean, there's just a lot of different names. You know, Indian Jack, one of the best-known names of Muskogee Rougher football history, one of the ancient names that's known. he won't be on that group, Nick. Why? Because he did not play at Indian Bowl.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that.
There's
also
a few of those.
There's
yeah.
a lot of players that competed and were part of the state championships for Manual Training High School. But remember, they didn't start their series there, I think, until 1959. So a lot of that history will be talked about in the upcoming week. I'm sure there'll be plenty of articles written by sports editor Mike Kays and the team of the Muskogee Phoenix. They'll be talking about that and then unrolling the decision of the fans' vote that was taken online, as well as the just the overall culmination of stats and as much research as can be done to select an all-time Indian Bowl Muskogee Rougher football team. Manual Training, Central High, Muskogee High School. All those athletes that made so many highlights, so many lifelong memories will be featured in this week's release of the best of the best at Indian Bowl. Tonight here at S.E. Williams Stadium, it's been the best of the Hornets, as Tulsa, Washington has put together a 33-7 halftime advantage. We'll come back for the second half start in 3 minutes. That after this timeout on Rougher Football 2021.
Having a good time is an American tradition, and at James Hodge, we're proud Americans. Now is the greatest time to get together, get out, and get away, no matter where the open road takes you. Your journey starts at James Hodge, an authentic part of Oklahoma for over 50 years. Get in a perfect ride at James Hodge Ford.
The James Hodge Ford Promise. The best selection, the absolute best price, and service guaranteed. James Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main, Muskogee, online at hodgeford.com.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Hi, welcome to Nissan of Muskogee.
Here in Muskogee, we're just 45 minutes from Tulsa, but us being family owned, like I said, the customers feel like family too.
What makes Nissan and Muskogee different? It's our people and a driving desire to surpass the expectations of our customers.
We care, and that's why they come to us.
Become a part of the family and let our people take care of you. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanandmuskogee.com.
Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Roughers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
The Muskogee Athletic Department would like to recognize its proud Rougher Athletics sponsors: Armstrong Bank, Oklahoma Army National Guard, Arvest Bank, Chick-fil-A Muskogee, Neighbors Building Neighborhoods, St. Francis Muskogee, Tommy Nix Auto Group, Springs Skilled Nursing and Therapy. Go Roughers!
At the half, Yukon 10, Westmore 7.
Welcome back on Rougher TV. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and our Rougher TV broadcast crew bring you the sights and sounds of Rougher football here from S.C. Williams Stadium. Halftime, Hornets in front 33-7. Other scores from around the district: Sand Springs shutting out Bartlesville 34-0. Choctaw having its way against Putnam City West 60-13, and Ponca City
is the opponent for the Ruffers tonight. They'll be looking forward to coming to Indian Bowl because tonight at home, the Wildcats have been hammered by the Spartans just like everybody else has all year long.
How that feels, don't we?
Bixby 50 and Ponca City 6. That's at halftime. So that's kind of the state of affairs for the Ruffers. I mean, the first thing that you had to take care of tonight, Nick, was to come in and get a win. Then you would hope to get the point margin. But the Ruffers are going to have to climb out of a deep cellar here at halftime to rally to a 33-7 deficit to try to come back and steal one over Booker T.
Now, from the Hornets' point of view, too, they've got a big game next week.
Indeed,
they
they
playing Bixby, and for the
right
district, for the basically the district title next week, and so that'll be a big game. And you wonder if they might kind of start overlooking the Ruffers here in this second half, kind of looking forward to that game.
Well, you talk about that situation, Nick. If Bixby were to lose to Tulsa, Washington, then you would have Tulsa, Washington with one loss, Bixby with one loss, and Choctaw with one loss, given the fact that Choctaw's playing tonight against Putnam City West, and next week they're going to play Bartlesville. So you would expect those things to all end up in a three-way tie. Then you go to points. Now, Bixby's got 75 points right now, and Booker T. Washington was second with 42 and Choctaw with 47. A lot of different things could change. I mean, you could have Booker T pull off the upset and still finish third.
He could, exactly right, yeah. If they get beat by a number of points. And
because Spartans right now pretty much got a lock on their 15 tonight, and Choctaw the same way. So, and the Hornets, if it stands, would have their 15, so not much would change as far as the point spreads. But the Ruffers had it all calculated out. First thing you had to do was take care of business and get a win. Then you would hope to be fortunate enough to get one by 13 with a 13-point win and then a major win next week against Ponca City, which is not guaranteed.
No.
The Ruffers would play their way into the postseason, but right now it's going to take a Herculean effort by the Muskogee Ruffers here to begin the third quarter. But Ruffers had won the toss and now will execute their decision with the reception to begin the third quarter play. 33-7 is our halftime score. Ruffer football this season brought to you in part by Lesher Millsap Funeral Services, by Nissan of Muskogee, Excel Physical Therapy, and by Buffalo Wild Wings, who will sponsor again our Ruffer Player of the Game.
So McGee and Bell back deep for the Ruffers. They kicked it to Bell last time. Let's see if they'll try to kick it to McGee. They've kicked it to him most of the time.
Marsh going to put it up high. Bell's going to settle under it at about the 9. He'll go to his right, 15. Looking for a block. Got one. Turns the corner at the 20. Jaden 25 at the 30. Change direction. Hop, skip, and a jump at the 35. And then finally knocked out of bounds upfield and around the
38, it looks like, maybe.
38-yard line. They'll say that's where JB stepped on the painted sideline. So the Ruffers get about a 28-yard kick return from Jaden Bell, and will start 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line here to begin the third quarter play, trailing 33-7. Scoreboard update by Kyle Everett's Buick GMC.
So exciting to watch Bell return. You just, every time he gets a hold of the ball on his kicks, you think he might break it.
Now this time, Bell will be out on the hash marks, wide to the left. Bring motion, and Watson, or that's Gibbons rather, trying to find the corner, changes direction, looks for a small crease, slithers through a would-be tackler and up to about the 46-yard line. Gibbons going from the 38 across the 45, but there is yellow laundry on the field. Ruffers might get called for a hold here.
Flag is down about the 43.
That's the call, holding on Muskogee, so that'll negate what was a 7-yard gain and turn it into a replay of first down, but it'll be 1st and about 17.
So give Gibbons about 5 on the carry before the penalty.
Moving back to the 33.
Ruffers get their third penalty of the night, all holding penalties against them.
Jamarian Ficklin, extremely calm and mild-mannered young man, just 15 years of age, freshman quarterback. Caden McGee, Anthony Watson will be the two receiver package wide to the right. Bell and Gibbons are stacked to the boundary short side left with Talbert in the backfield with Bird. Snap is back to Ficklin, swings it out in space, and on a little skip, intended for Caden McGee, and Ficklin got hit just as he released the ball as pressure was coming off the edge that time by DJ McKinney.
For the most part, Ficklin's had relatively good time to throw the ball tonight. Hasn't been under the pressure that we saw the last couple of weeks against Choctaw and Bixby.
Different style of defense. Hornets a little bit more passive at times, and
not quite as big and bulky up front either.
Linebackers are certainly physical, and the safeties and the cornerbacks can run with anybody anywhere. Now to 2nd and 15. Ficklin back in the pocket. Blitz comes by McKinney off the left side. Ficklin waving his way through tacklers, and then will come afield, and then got punished by Gentry Williams. Ficklin got hit, and then Williams kind of stood over the top of him and looked at him and says, "Hey, rookie, not in my house, you don't."
Hit him right in the chest as he came barreling down through there, did Gentry, but ends up still being a pretty nice
gain of
gains,
4.
yeah, for the 37.
So it'll be 3rd down and long for the Ruffers. 3rd and 11. Have to go to the 48-yard line to move the sticks. Clock running here early in the 3rd quarter. 10:45 and counting. Trips are to the wide side right for Ficklin. He'll take the snap, 3-step drop, step up in the pocket, looking to run or throw upfield, has a receiver open, catch at the 45, across the 45, inside the 40, and down to the 37-yard line goes Anthony Watson. Freshman to sophomore combination. Watson making the catch, and good move that time by Ficklin to step up to the pocket and then to be able to scan the field, Nick, and find his receivers. That pass and run combination to the 38, good enough for a J. Hodge Chevrolet. Muskogee Ruffer 1st and 10.
25 yards on that pass play. Nice move, and Watson was wide open as he found a little hole there in the zone, and Ficklin hit him.
This time Gibbons and Bell will come to the left side.
The specialist, the switchblade.
Bell, they run the counter play back inside to Talbert, had a crease, and downfield to the 35, and then on the snap of the football, Ruffer's going to get called for encroachment here, Nick, offside, because Jaden Bell, I think, lost where the football was actually placed, and when he came out, he went upfield and then came back. Of course, you break that line of scrimmage, that's an automatic flag. I don't know why they didn't blow it dead before the snap of the football.
I was kind of surprised at that, too. It'd be a procedure call, but
penalty will be against Muskogee. And they'll walk it off from the line of scrimmage, which was the 38-yard line.
Still no official signal as yet. Yeah, here we come.
Yeah, the illegal motion against Muskogee. That was on Bell. It should have been an automatic stop the clock whistle.
So that'll be the
referee's arm is going to be really sore tomorrow because he has wound that clock with furor endless number of times. 33-7. Tulsa, Washington in front. Ruffers with their first possession here in the second half. 1st and 15 again, this time from the 43. Trips are wide to the left. 1 on, 2 off. Hand the ball off inside to Talbert, and he got stood up at the line of scrimmage. Demetrius Prudhomme and a host of Hornets meet the Rufford ball carrier at the line of scrimmage. That'll be virtually no gain on the play, Nick.
Demetrius Prudhomme.
Tolbert still just a yard short of that 100-yard mark this evening.
Nick, you talk about the experience of the well-known names of Booker T. Washington, but you look at this defensive front, junior, sophomore. Linebackers, sophomore, junior, and 1 senior. So that front 7 only has 1 senior member. 2nd and 15. Ficklin on an empty backfield, a little pump and go. Looks to throw short side of the field. Caught by Watson. He'll come across the 40 and inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line. Actually, it was Watson.
Yeah. Ruffer's trying to take advantage of that aggressive Washington defense, let them come in, throw almost a semi-screen, just kind of a delay, little short pass as the rush comes in on Ficklin, and he gets dumped it off and gets the little short yardage.
So now another 3rd and long situation, 3rd and 11. Bell will be the wide out outside the hash mark to the far left. Ficklin takes the snap, quick release, up the field, caught by Bell on the slant inside. He's dragged to the turf by Jordan Drew defensively. Had to go to the 28. From the 34, this will be downfield to the 26. So the Ruffers will have a 4th and 3 call here, Nick, and with a 33-7 ball game, you roll the dice.
Yeah, it's at the 31, so they're about 2 yards short need to move it to the 28. So 4th down and about 3.
McGee and Katie Freeman will be to the right. Bell and Watson will be to the left. Tolbert is to the left of Ficklin. Bird takes the shoulder-high snap, throws it underneath. Caught by Tolbert, has the first down, runs right into the chest of a would-be tackler, powers his way to the 25-yard line. More than enough for the yards needed on a 6-yard pickup for a J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee Rougher, 1st down and 10.
Good call. He's the guy to get to. He gets those yards after catch, and just a little flare pass out to Tolbert coming out of the backfield, and he did the rest with the run.
Caden McGee and Anthony Watson will be the slot in the wide out to the right side. Bell and Gibbons are to the left. Ficklin fakes the handoff, gives it off to Gibbons, trying to get to the corner at the 20, through a crease at the 20, down to the 15-yard line goes Isaiah Gibbons. Little jet sweep and the forward handoff, and Gibbons takes it and turns the far corner. And the Ruffers scamper downfield from the 25 to the 15, 10 yards, and a J. Hodge Chevrolet Rougher, 1st down and 10.
So the Ruffers having their first possession here in the second half, starting off well, started at their own 38, now down to the Hornet 15.
See if they can finish this drive, Nick, something that didn't happen in the first half. Now Ficklin will take the shoulder-high snap, going to fade the ball for the end zone. Pass a little bit underthrown. It's intercepted, picked away by Jordan Drew. Trying to change direction. Bell will try to chase him down from behind. He can't get him. On a second effort, JB will finally make the tackle, but that pass was underthrown.
It was, and Drew, a couple inches taller than Bell, just outreached him for it, and makes a nice return after he intercepted in the end zone.
That really hurts because that drive had been well executed, but Ficklin's pass was floated just a little bit. The bird flew a little bit too high that time, and Drew had pretty good coverage on Bell and got the interception and returns it from the end zone out to the 27-yard line, 28.
Third turnover by the Ruffers tonight, going with the 2 fumbles by Tolbert in the first half.
Now with 6:45 to play here in the third, 33-7 Tulsa, Washington. Hornets get the ball for the first time, moving from left to right. Boone out of the handoff inside. Washington squirts through a huge hole right up the middle. Across the 30-35 and out to the 39-yard line goes Washington. Nick, that time that offensive front did its job. Ezel at center, Melendez and Owens at guards, just opening a momentary crease, and Ethan Washington, who can run at the snap of the fingers full speed, got the big gain.
11 yards and a first down.
Counter play, come back to Washington again, bounce off one tackler, drags another Rougher defender, Tion Brewer, upfield to about the 48-yard line. That'll be about a 9-yard pickup, just shy of the 49. But Ethan Washington, who is a senior returning running back, 80 carries coming into tonight's game. 2 receivers wide left. Boone this time going to give it right back to Washington. Starts right, changes direction, across the midfield stripe, and then finally dragged down by the Rougher defender, Deion Bowler, the sophomore, what they call rougher back in the scheme for the Ruffers. But the gain across midfield for a 1st and 10 at the 48.
12 carries, 59 yards.
No huddle, quick slap pass outside the tees. He has it at the 45 on the boundary and stays on his feet and gets downfield to the 35-yard line. That's a lot of energy, a lot of speed out there, Nick. And they pull a guard, get him out in front, throw the ball to space, and Tees follows those big guys down the field. And the wide receivers do an excellent job blocking. I'll give credit to Hornets because their wideouts not only can catch the football, Nick, but they know they have to block, and they do well. McKinney will be in the slot to the left. Boone out of the shotgun, takes the snap, counter, steps back in the pocket, being pressured, trying to roll to his left, pumps, fakes, gets out of the corner at the 30. Boone, then he'll step out of bounds at the 26-yard line. But there's the elusiveness of the quarterback, Latham Boone, who can extend plays. That's one of the things that you would hope that will be developed for Jamarian Ficklin as he matures, Nick. But that time, Boone, the junior quarterback, was able to use his foot speed and his elusiveness to scamper downfield for an 8-yard pickup to the 26.
And he showed some pretty good speed there as the Ruffers kind of had the angle on him, but he just kicked in the gears and got to the sideline.
Now the quick handoff on the play action fake. Boone's going to throw upfield a little bit high, was looking for McKinney. Over there for the Muskogee Ruffers was Keandre Johns, the senior cornerback.
Came in with 17 tackles on the season, 15 of those solo. Didn't play last week, Nick. But now after the incomplete pass stops the clock with 5:22 to go in the third, Hornets will face a 3rd and 2 from the Muskogee 27. Or from the 26, they have to go to the 24. Split in outside the hash mark, wide to the right. Boone's going to keep it on a place and keeper. Inside the 20, on his feet, the 15, dancing between would-be tacklers. Nobody can find a way to grab on to Lathan Boone.
Wow. Nice run by Boone, and he really hid the ball well and froze the linebackers, and before they could get outside, Boone was outside of them.
Big celebration over in the far corner after the touchdown run, but boy, that young guy has got some playmaking ability. The junior quarterback, whose 1,943 yards are now going to be well over 2,200 before this night is done. Marsh will be on to try to add the PAT. Snap is down. The kick is way. This one is good, and there's timeout with 5:15 to go in the third. Hornets on the heels of Lathan Boone. After a pass interception in the end zone, denying the Ruffers a chance to put points on the scoreboard, go the length of the field and put 7 more up on their S.C. Williams Stadium clock. 5:15 to go in the third, 40-7, Tulsa, Washington over the Muskogee Ruffers. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2021.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
Girls basketball, baseball, football.
Welcome back to S.C. Williams Stadium, where the party is starting for the Hornets, Nick. Pass interception by Jordan Drew in the end zone. The return out, and then the Hornets kick it into high gear with Lathan Boone doing a majority of that damage. And it's a drive for the score to make it 40-7 here with 5:15 to play in quarter number 3.
I would expect next time we get the ball back, we'll see seconds in for Washington. Give a little rest and make sure nobody gets hurt before next week's game with the Spartans.
So now Marsh will kick it off. This one a little higher, a little shorter, going to be fielded upfield about the 25-yard line, 30, 35, and out to about the 48-yard line as the gang tackling continues. Deion Bowler on the return. Stand you up, Nick, on group tackling and then try to rip the ball out of your hands. Bowler was able to hold on to it, fortunately.
That time they elected to kick it short and not let McGee and Bell get their hands on it back deep.
So a 1st and 10 for Muskogee, their second possession here of the quarter. First possession, Nick, took over 5 minutes before that pass interception. Givens and Bell will be to the left. Ficklin handing off to Tolbert, changing direction, breaks up the middle, 40. Inside the 35, steps over a would-be tackler and finally dragged to the turf. But Braylon Tolbert is showing his athleticism here tonight. And a nice tackle that time by Solomon Thompson.
21 yards.
21 yards for BT. And the Ruffers have a 1st and 10. J. Hodge Chevrolet, Ruffer first down at the 31-yard line in Hornet territory.
Well, once again, the Ruffers moving the ball down into territory, but they got to capitalize when they get it down inside the 30 and the 20.
Givens and McGee are the wideouts to the right. High snap. Ficklin just has to drag it down. He'll have to take his medicine there as he'll be bent over and smashed to the turf by Solomon Thompson. But that snap was a nice catch by Ficklin. He showed his good hands, people.
He was, but he managed to grab it, but of course the timing of the play was all wrecked by that time, and the Hornets able to get him for a 2-yard loss back to the 33.
Clock showing 4:10 and running here in the third quarter. 40-7. Hornets adding a touchdown here in the third.
Gibbons and McGee are to the right side. Bell in the slot across in front of the formation. They'll counter. Ficklen's in trouble off the blitz. Avoids the tackle. Now wants to throw downfield again. He underthrows it, and it's going to be picked off. Micah Teese with the INT. The pass was intended downfield for Gibbons, but Ficklen, who had avoided the rush, leaves his pass a little bit shy, and Teese, seeing that dove floating in the air, Nick says, boom, 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 and picks up the interception. What is that, the second of the night?
Yeah, second in the last two passes that Ficklen's thrown, interceptions.
So that'll give possession back to Tulsa, Washington, and that will be the fourth turnover of the night on the Muskogee Roughers.
I mean, Micah Teese looked like Tiger Woods standing over.
So Teese that time had, boy, you know his eyes had to be big as silver dollars, Nick, because he knew that one was coming his way. That's his third interception of the season.
Now that's one the young freshman would want to have back. He's just trying to make something happen and threw it into good coverage.
And now trips will go wide left. Boone still in at quarterback. Washington goes in formation. They throw the swing route with blockers out in front. 30, change direction, 35. And out near the 39-yard line goes Ethan Washington. We're going to mark it at the 29, I said.
11 yards on the pass and run.
Move the football, Nick, but you get into where the lights get a little bit bright. And the Roughers have turned it over on back-to-back possessions. Now the Hornets on a 1st and 10 from the 29. We'll put three wide outs to the far right. Boone this time with Gentry Williams matched up solo on the short side boundary left. We'll put Washington into his right shoulder as he works out of the shotgun. Play clock down to 5. Hand the ball, fake the handoff, and Boone's going to keep it. Pump fake, 35, turns the corner, got a good block out on the edge again.
Yep. You were right. You're right about the blocking out there. It really makes a big difference.
Makai Chambers doing the blocking out on the edge against the Rougher cornerback, and Boone seeing that, used the angle to scamper upfield to the 44-yard line, more than enough for a 1st and 10, 15-yard pickup.
Just chunks of yardage that Boone now is getting. Good blocking out in front of him, as we said.
Very impressive effort on the wideouts to block downfield. So now Boone with Washington in the backfield. Puts three wide receivers with one out on top of the numbers right in front of the Rougher bench. Now they'll play action series. Hand it off to Washington inside. Spread you out, then hand it off in traffic. Washington passing one tackle, two tackles, and almost stepped out of a last tackle, but credit
Deshaun Lewis got him.
Yeah, Deshaun Smith able to get a shoestring on Washington. Otherwise, he was off to the races. But there is laundry down on the field, back up field. This one's coming back for a hold on the Hornets.
Ran just down field a couple of yards from the original line of scrimmage.
The way the Hornets are moving the football, Nick, right now, this is where Coach Travis Hill, Steve Craver have to be saying to his defensive team, guys, don't quit. Don't quit. Fight with the same fervor, the same energy, the same expectation of making big plays that you had back in the first quarter as you have here in the third now with 3:02 to go in the score, saying 40-7 in favor of Booker T.
And, of course, the Hornets, although they don't like the penalty, they maintain the ball, and clock will continue to run as they wind it up again.
Move back to the 36-yard line, so it'll be a 1st and 18 situation. Again, the trips go wide left. Boone, play action, throw it out in space. Catch is caught at the 38, across the 40, and up to about the 45-yard line. Makai Chambers in on the reception. 2 minutes and 35 seconds left to go here in the third.
This time we have the OU
2nd and 9.
On the near side for the Hornets, three wide receivers.
Boone again going to throw it off to King. That time Roughers are right there on top of it, but you saw King's ability to stay up as able to get there that time for Muskogee was Deshaun Smith, or not Smith, but it's Taryn Miles in on the cornerback stop. Gain that goes from the 42, 45. Go out to the 47. I guess it was from the 36. So anyway, 36 up to the 47. Third down at 7 now for Booker T. Twins are wide to the left. Throw the crease up the middle. Open as a tight end. Catch at the 50-45. And Demetrius Prudhomme, the 6'2", 205-pound junior with the catch as he comes off underneath from his tight end position. And that's another Washington first down and 10 with 1:33 in the clock running.
12 more yards for Boone on passing, gives him 271 on the night.
Boone this time going to hand it off. Just a change of speed effort that time by the running back straight ahead inside the 40, inside the 35. And downfield to the 34 goes Dion McKinney.
Close to a first down.
5'9", 175-pound junior as the clock stops. And a timeout taken by Muskogee as Travis Hill is pleading with his defenders to hurry up and get over. I got something to say. We'll say something, too, from our many sponsors that bring you Rougher football here in 2021. That after this 30-second timeout with the score. Tulsa, Washington 40, Muskogee 7. We're back in 30 seconds on Rougher football 2021.
Red Dirt Production Services proudly supports the Muskogee Roughers. Productivity in the oil and gas industry requires every member of the team to know their job and do it to the best of their abilities. Just like in football, teamwork is a #1 priority, and that's the mission of Red Dirt Production Services, serving the oil and gas industry through roustabout and well pumping services, along with environmental remediation and pipeline construction. Proud to join forces with the Roughers to win every day the Muskogee way. Red Dirt Production Services says, "Go Roughers!"
Stillwater shut out Midwest City by a score of 50-0.
Historic S.C. Williams Stadium on this last Friday night in October. Muskogee Roughers have hurt themselves with 4 huge turnovers tonight, 2 on fumbles and 2 on pass interceptions. But the Hornets have made the Roughers pay for each of those errors and have put points on their own on the scoreboard and lead it 40-7. Here with 1:15 to go before the end of the third. Now, split diamond backfield with Boone. He's got 2 running backs. Going to keep it on himself a little option. Going to pitch it back at the corner at the 30 and down to about the 26-yard line goes Ethan Washington. That'll be downfield to the 26, and it's good enough for a 1st and 10.
8 more yards for Washington gives him 67 on the night, 13 carries.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage. Hornets handing off to Washington, coming to his right, cuts back in the middle of the field, downfield down to, from the 25 to near the 20-yard line before a host of Rougher defenders are there. Dion Bowler, one of the first would-be tacklers in on the stop for Muskogee, but the Hornets just picking up now, Nick, yardage in big, huge chunks. Devin Whitfield goes out, get a new Rougher into the defensive front. Roughers on a little hard case jump offside. As up front that time for the Roughers, jumping into the neutral zone was Arion Parrish.
And that'll be just about 1st down for the Hornets. Just shy, they say, a little bit.
It is a 1st and 10. That's at the 16-yard line.
Yep, they did get the first. So.
Clock will start as soon as they mark the ball ready for play. 1 wide receiver to the left. Bring McKinney in motion. Handoff coming near side on the run. Washington will get it downfield inside the 15 to about the 12. Just a little counter, and Washington able to find just enough progress. He'll come out. And coming in now will be Gentry Williams in this offensive formation. Covington in at running back. Boone's going to swing it out in space. Caught by McKinney. Again, has the block, and he weaves his way just as he's done on 3 other occasions tonight and takes it into the end zone. Good lockup, block out on the edge by Jordan Drew, and DJ McKinney can read it and runs into the end zone to end the third quarter on the touchdown, 12-yard touchdown pass, the 6th of the night for Lathan Boone.
82-yard drive by the Hornets that time.
Again, after another turnover.
Went to 3rd down just 1 time in that whole drive.
Marsh on to try to add the PAT. Roughers are offside, and the kick is up and good. I think that's going to stand, and there'll be timeout on the field. Should be 47-7. If the Hornets don't opt to go for 2 here, but why would you?
Talking it over with Marsh, the kicker.
Offside against the Ruffers is declined, and that'll be the score at the end of the third quarter. It will be 47-7, Tulsa, Washington, on top of the Muskogee Ruffers. We're back to S.C. Williams Stadium. Wait a minute, Nick, they're going to retry the kick.
Why are they doing that?
I don't really know. Extra point down, and this one is good. So just like we said, 47-7 after 3 quarters of play. Back for the start of the fourth quarter after this 62nd timeout of Ruffer Football 2021.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
3 quarters played, 12 minutes remain. The third quarter ends on the 6th touchdown pass tonight for Lathan Boone.
Number 44.
And that makes it a 47-7 game. Hornets have averaged this season, Nick, 46 points per ball game. They've matched that average here tonight against the Ruffers.
Number 44, Reagan Bradford on senior night.
So now the Hornets will kick off.
After the score by the Hornets.
Ruffers will fit it. That's Gibbons at the 25, trying to find his way between would-be tacklers. Out across the 30 and up to about the 36-yard line goes Isaiah Gibbons.
Here we are on senior night, Hornets.
So the Ruffers playing for pride at this point in time. Effort. I'm sure Travis Hill has implored his offense to get out there, do your jobs, see what you can accomplish here in this last quarter.
Senior night here at S.C. Williams Stadium. Next Friday night at Indian Bowl, it'll be senior night for a group of 16 Muskogee Ruffer seniors, along with the trainers and the members of the cheer squad, the band, the dance team. We'll celebrate senior night on the final game at Indian Bowl next Friday night. For this time, going to go with a reverse, going back to Gibbons across the grade. Got a block from Bell, changes direction, 35, 40. Gibbons on his feet, out to the 45-yard line. That play happened there, Nick, thanks to the block of Jaden Bell on the outside because he locked up the outside defender across the way. Jordan Drew didn't allow him to close the gate, and then Gibbons changed direction and found the positive gain going upfield to the 45-yard line.
10 yards for Gibbons.
J. Hodge Chevrolet, Muskogee Ruffer first down and 10.
3 carries, 25 yards for Gibbons. They've run that sweep a couple of times with him tonight. Picked up 10 each time.
Bell will be out on the numbers to the far left. Watson in the slot to the same side. Ficklin. Play action. Slings the pass across the middle. Watson has it. 45, and the big sophomore rambles his way down to the 43-yard line. 12-yard pickup, another Muskogee Ruffer, J. Hodge Chevrolet. First down and 10. Is it just my hearing, or is it getting louder in here?
It seems to be, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Clock showing 11 minutes left tonight in this nightmare on North Peoria. Trips go wide to the left. Gibbons will be in the slot. McGee will be on the hash mark and Bell out on the numbers. Ficklin takes the left-handed catch of the snap. Now scamps up, looks for a run room, and nice block by Watson out of the outside. He caught an unsuspecting defender, and then a late penalty flag comes on the field. Boy, that was a good block by Watson, and he stepped up and kind of decleats Aiden Walker, but then there's a penalty flag thrown, and that's going to be on the Ruffers on the sophomore.
So the run by Ficklin down to about the 37 or 8.
He got a little shoulder nudge on him,
So the penalty's going to be on the Ruffers.
If that's me, I'm lining you up and trying to put you to sleep, Kurt. But
because
it's a different time.
Watson did a pretty good job, and he actually made the hit up around the numbers, but it was kind of an unsuspecting. But that's a defender, not a receiver.
Yeah. So 15 yards, moves it back across midfield.
All the way back to the 47-yard line. It'll be. Why is it first? Yeah, you replay the down. My mistake. First and 20. Ruffers have to go to the 33-yard line on the opposite end.
Place the ball down at the 47-yard line.
When you're having a scoreboard run up on you like you are tonight, Nick, you get a little bit frustrated, and Watson was looking that time for a big block, and he got it, but he got caught for it. So now Ficklin on a high snap, secures it, throws it out in space to Gibbons, who's able to hold on to it, runs out of a tackle, 50, 40, 35, 30. Does he have enough quickness at the 20, the 15? Don't turn around and look. Just run to the end zone. Isaiah Gibbons for the touchdown.
Number 25.
Gibbons runs out of a would-be tackle and takes that one 53 yards for the score. And the James Hodge Ford Muskogee Ruffer first down at 10 and touchdown Ruffers.
Well, the Hornets thought they had him stopped and kind of gave up on the play, and Gibbons broke free, and by the time Washington recovered, he was downfield and they couldn't catch up with him.
Well, Gibbons was able to turn around and look, Nick, to see who was coming after him, and obviously you want to just keep running straight ahead, but there is an injured player on the field for Tulsa, Washington. 47-13 as the Ruffers get the big strike. Ficklin's toss resulting in the touchdown, but the even better effort by Isaiah Gibbons. 75 yards in receiving tonight for Gibbons. Altogether for for Bird, that's 184 yards.
So with the touchdown,
but he's also got 2 INTs to go with it.
We're happy to report that Ramsey Austin is up.
Ramsey Austin is the injured player for Washington, coming up pretty much under his own steam.
So now Skyler Winbear will come on to try the point after touchdown. Ruffer football this season brought to you in part by James Hodge Ford, by Northeast Oklahoma Health Systems, by Pioneer Abstract, Bravado Wireless, and by Cornerstone Funeral Home. One Bear Jr. will be on to try the extra point. High snap, Bell gets it down, the all-out rush comes, but the kick is good. And it'll be a 47-14 ball game when we return to SC Williams Stadium after this 30-second timeout on Ruffer Football 2021.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
53-yard pass and run combination. Jamarian Ficklin to senior slot back Isaiah Gibbons. And the Ruffers get their second touchdown of the night, but still trail by a lopsided scoreboard, 47-14.
So now the defense, trying to arise to the occasion, really haven't been able to do much about stopping this Hornet buzzsaw of offense. It's utilizing speed and talent, just chewing up yardage, big chunks against Muskogee.
Ruffers here tonight against SC Williams Stadium, and then we'll wrap up the 2021 season next Friday night when they go back to Indian Bowl. And we'll face Ponca City in what will be the scheduled final football game on the high school level to be played at the 82-year-old ageless Indian Bowl. So after the touchdown, the Ruffers will kick off. One Bear will put it on the tee.
One Bear teeing the football up.
See if the Hornets will bring seconds, Nick, here. This possession, One Bear's high kick.
Going to kick it away from McKinney, and it'll bounce and hop into the end zone on the touchback and come out to the 20-yard line. Manhattan Construction, building the future of Muskogee Public Schools, along with Serpro, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, Nissan of Muskogee, and your fast, fair, and friendly State Farm Insurance agent, David Cobb, proud to bring you Rougher football again this season. 10:24 to play here in the fourth. Tulsa, Washington comfortably in front, 47-14. Wagner leading Grove now, 20-14. That game's in the fourth.
Fort Gibson trailing Poto 35-7 at halftime.
And that just updated, Nick. It's 49-21 in the fourth.
49. All right.
Hilldale shutting out McLean 24-0. First and 10 for the Hornets from the 20-yard line. Gentry Williams goes in motion, a little counter play. Boone going to hand it off to his running back. That's Isaac Covington. And he's able to dance his way between would-be tacklers to get upfield for about a 5-yard pickup to the 25.
Covington, remember, had that big 50-yard run in the first half that set up a touchdown for the Hornets.
But frankly, I'm surprised Boone is still in at quarterback. I thought they might have gone to Isaac Fain, but nevertheless, 2nd and 5 here on the Hornets' home field of S.C. Williams Stadium, which will be the site for next week's matchup between 1 and 2, Tulsa, Washington, and Bixby. Boone going to take it, step back in the pocket, throw the little swing route out on the edge. Covington has it, breaks the tackle to 30, and he'll go to the 35-yard line on the yards after catch. Good enough for another Hornet first down at 10. Rougher football tonight being brought to you on Rougher Football 2021 on Rougher TV. Our producers tonight, our crew, doing a great job with the sights and sounds. Mallory Garner, Madison Grayson, Caden Hoos, Luke Jameson, and Bree Gialetti, the 5-member crew, and their Starship Enterprise leader, Shane Stewart. Now Boone going to throw it out in space. Catch made by Gentry Williams. Breaks the tackle from 35. Good night. He's going to take it all the way down. Now they're going to say stepped on the painted sideline at the 39-yard line. As soon as he got a step, Nick, it was turn out the lights because this guy has got excellent speed, but he did give the Roughers a break because he steps out of bounds at the 39-yard line. But again, that's another big play all the way into Rougher territory.
That puts the quarterback, Lathan Boone, the junior, over 300 yards passing now tonight.
Trio of receivers to the short side right. McKinney's by himself out wide to the left. Boone going to hand it off. Covington trying to bounce off a tackle at the 35. Still upright inside the 30 and down to the 29-yard line goes Isaac Covington.
About what he needed for the first down over there. He spotted right at the 30, so 9 yards gain.
Covington just a sophomore. Boone is a junior. DJ McKinney is a junior. Washington really the only running back that's a senior. 2nd and a yard to go for the Hornets, leading 47-14. Boone this time just going to wait, let the play clock count down a little bit. Gentry Williams in a slot to the left. McKinney out on the hash mark. Long cadence. Pump it out in space. This is Williams, 30, 20-yard line, and finally, with two hands, able to drag the would-be defender down. As over there was Deion Bowler. Got some help from Trevion Houston. But it's good enough to move the sticks all the way to the 22-yard line, 1st and 10.
8 more yards. It's just those little swing passes is what they've run most of the night, and Roughers playing off of them and getting lots of yardage.
Be hard to defend, Nick, because this is a very cat-quick offensive unit. This time, Covington going to take the handoff.
Break it out to the right-hand side. Lots of big
Roughers had time trying to jump on and gang tackle as Tion Brewer was the first guy that got there, but he didn't have the individual strength to bring the running back Covington to the turf, and his forward progress will get about 5 to the 17-yard line.
So the Hornets with three ball carriers.
Clock
on
stopped. The
70 yards.
official is waving his arm. Cannot get the clock to start, so now they'll stop play and time will be kept on the field.
Presumably, yes, we hope.
Officials may be keeping the time on the
So
field.
now with
here in the press box.
Looks like they're trying to reset it. So
Official time on the field.
Stop play while they discuss what to do with the clock. And while they do that, let's take a quick 30-second timeout and come back. 8:11 left to go. 47-14 to score. We're back in 30 seconds on Rougher Football 2021.
It's a special time of the year at J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. No tricks. I hope we get this right. Oklahoma, it's treats for trade-ins, and we need trade-ins. Come get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy your new Chevy. No tricks. Get an appraisal at the dealership or at your home. Treats for trade-ins up to $1,500 extra. No tricks. J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. 144 West Shawnee.
Okay, they got the scoreboard fixed and the clock adjusted down to 8:04. It'll be 2nd down and 5. They'll mark the ball ready for play, and the clock will count. Lathan Boone, who has 6 touchdown passes on the night, will hand off to, actually going to call his own number, keep it, trying to stop and go, trying to get to the edge. He's over to the 20-yard line, being ushered out of bounds. Ruffers that time get a pretty good job of covering up on the outside.
I'm not sure that was a busted play. I think Covington was supposed to get the ball on that, and Boone said, uh-oh, I guess I'm going to have to keep it myself.
Parker Pillett and Memphis Coleman running the Washington quarterback out of bounds back at the 21-yard line. So a loss of 4 on the play, 3rd down and 9. Clock did stop, though, as the carrier went out of bounds. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and our Rougher TV crew tonight here on week number 9 of high school football. Hornets this time with 2 running backs. Covington going to take the handoff, has blockers in front, trying to get to the corner. Ruffers come off and defend it very, very well out on the edge.
Not able to get much over there. Looks like he's going to be
credit play. I think that's Walker Newton, Nick. Yes, it is. Newton making the stop. No gain on the play, but there is Laundry on the turf.
Just a 1-yard gain on the play.
I think this would be a hold here, but referee tonight, who did not provide names for us to be able to identify. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Muskogee. Wow.
Okay. Unsportsmanlike conduct the call, being assessed against the Ruffers.
Well, that flag is going to result in a 1st down.
Half the distance, 10 yards.
Take it to the 10-yard line. Be 1st and goal to go at that spot.
That's the Ruffers' 10-yard line.
7th penalty for 65 yards against Muskogee tonight.
So now with just over 7.5 minutes left to go, Boone with 2 running backs in the backfield. Bring motion across the formation. Boone's going to hand off in traffic. Washington with the exchange.
Looks like the give was to Ethan Washington.
Washington has had a good workout here tonight, Nick. That'll be what, his 16th carry tonight?
16th carry. What did he get? 3 yards on that?
Got 2 down to the 8.
78 yards on the night for Washington.
He's got about the same number in receiving, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got 40 yards receiving, 3 receptions.
Ruffers almost jump offside as the Hornets let the play clock continue to count down. 6:52 and counting to go in the game. 2nd and goal to go from the 8. Boone this time going to hand it off to Covington, breaking tackle in the backfield, and then gets up to the 4-yard line on the forward progress. Arion Parrish was in the backfield, but he got buried in the backfield by the blocks up front from Jaden Owens and Mike Ezel. So it'll be 3rd and goal to go from the 4 as the tackle was made. And the Hornets trying to add yet one more score here in the 4th.
They're taking their sweet time now, just running the play clock down inside 10 before they snap it generally.
Covington will be the running back to the left of Boone. Washington in the slot. Boone's going to play action series, throw it in space, easy catch and pace, and that's a touchdown. Bryson Anderson, the senior tight end on senior night, getting to celebrate himself as the dance goes on in the north end zone. And the Hornets have added yet one more score.
Wow. So
what is that,
that's
7 touchdowns?
7 for Boone, touchdowns.
7 touchdown passes tonight for Lathan Boone.
Go back and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Jackson Marsh
caught it at the goal line. Made sure he got
6-7, yep, that's right.
Marsh will be on to try yet another point after touchdown, but Latham Boone, the junior quarterback, has had a party here tonight. The extra point kick is on the way, and it is good. And there's timeout on the field. 6:03 left to go tonight from S.C. Williams Stadium. It's been Hornets, and more Hornets. 54-14. Booker T. Washington leading Muskogee back in 30 seconds on Rougher Football 2021.
When you come home after a long day, Bravado Wireless Home Internet has you covered in your neighborhood or on your farm. For a limited time, our unlimited home internet has been discounted to only $49 per month with the purchase of a $99 router. And get this, the first 3 months of service is on us. So what are you waiting for? Make the switch today and visit us at bravadowireless.com for more info and to find a store near you. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Welcome back on Rougher Football 2021. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton here with you on this last Friday night in October. Nick, Halloween is this weekend, whether you do it tonight, Saturday night, or even Sunday. But the trick-or-treating has been tonight here, and the treats have been all to the Hornets, and the tricks have been to the Muskogee Roughers.
Lots of chocolate bars tonight for the Hornets as they have gotten all kinds of goodies in their treat basket tonight, particularly Boone, the quarterback.
50-14 is the score. 54-14. Hornets will kick off again. A high short kick. Roughers will field it at the 23, up across the 30, and then slam to the turf at the 32-yard line.
Gibbons.
Nope, that's Jalen Lockmore on the return. Jalen was our guest earlier this week in our Rougher Coaches Show that should come each and every Tuesday night. And again, this Tuesday night from Runt's Barbecue. Don't forget, next Friday night is senior night in the celebration of the final game to be played on the high school level at historic Indian Bowl. Celebration of 82 years of high school football. That'll be next Friday night. You'll want to make plans to be there just to be a part of saying you were there when they turned out the lights for the final time. 1st and 10 for the Roughers from the 30-yard line. Ficklen's going to go the distance. The left-hander in the pocket. Sets up, wants to throw down the field, looking for. He was looking for Keandre Johns, but Jaden King is going to come up with a pass that is underthrown. What is that? Interception number 3?
Interception.
5th turnover of the night for the Roughers as they tried to strike deep to Keandre Jones, but again, Bird's pass was underthrown. 5:51 left to play, and the Hornets after the INT by Jaden King. Again, another senior getting a momentous occasion on his final senior night contest. I'm really kind of interested in how they played senior night tonight, and they still got a home game next Friday night.
That's interesting. Yeah, that is right.
Lathan Boone, who has 7 touchdowns tonight already, Nick, through the air, will be back in at quarterback.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Boone this time is going to call his own number. Gets a block out of the edge, turns the corner to the 35, dances out of a tackler at that spot, and then finally will be taken to the turf upfield at the 38-yard line. There is laundry on the field for a penalty flag. You would expect that possibly to be holding here.
So we'll see where they're going to mark it from.
Holding's going to be the call on the Hornets. Nick, our live stream broadcasts aren't possible without the many, many years of continued support and faithfulness of the Rougher athletic family. Cornerstone Funeral Home, J. Hodge Chevrolet, Bravado Wireless, Pioneer Abstract, Northeast Oklahoma Health Systems, James Hodge Ford, Runt's Barbecue, Mike Finnerty, Attorney at Law, Excel Physical Therapy, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC, Buffalo Wild Wings, David Cobb, State Farm Insurance, Nissan of Muskogee, My Place Barbecue West, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, Serpro, Red Dirt Production Services, and Manhattan Construction, building the future of Muskogee athletics.
1st and 13 for the Hornets.
New quarterback in now for the Hornets as Isaac Fain, the junior signal caller, comes in and hands off inside.
New ball carrier too, I think.
Don't come in here tipping because the opponent is hitting.
That is.
Second down, 15 for the Hornets.
I think it's Cameron King.
Cameron King that is who it is. So now with a 54-14 lead and 4:47 to go, clock running. Isaac Fain will set up with the running back off to his right. He'll hand off. King trying to bounce straight ahead, and Arion Parrish wraps both arms around him and body slams him back to the turf. 6-1, or gain to the 21, excuse me. Parrish, who was in the starting lineup, Nick, and then missed a couple of weeks, making that stop. Parrish, just a sophomore, 6'2", 312-pounder. It'll be a tired group of Ruffers tonight when this one's over. Third down and a bunch for the Hornets as they've got to go from the 21 to the 37, so it's 3rd and 16.
Let's see if Isaac Kane gets on.
Kane will hand off again to King.
Number 27, the running back.
Or checking out King, but it's Sire Green. He gets to the 23, and it'll be 4th down. Will this be the second time tonight the Hornets have had to punt?
Senior Jackson Morris
brings up a 4th down.
To punt.
He's gotten to work out, though, with his other kicking, extra points and kickoffs.
54-14, Tulsa, Washington. They started fast, Nick, and never took their foot off the gas, and the Ruffers were perhaps their own worst enemy with what is now 4 turnovers on the night. 5. 2 fumbles and 3 intercepted passes. Now penalties fly, or timeout's going to be taken, as the Hornets will call a timeout with the play clock down to 1. We'll keep it here. We'll remind you that next Friday night you'll want to make plans to be at Indian Bowl. It will be senior night for the class of 2021. Not just the footballers, the cheerleaders, the band, Palm Squad, dance team members. But it'll also be, Nick, kind of bittersweet for me, having been part of the history of Indian Bowl since first moving here in 1984. To see a lot of memorable moments. And next Friday night, as far as varsity football is concerned, and football in general for Muskogee High School, will come the end of the road for Indian Bowl.
Yeah, it's been a lot of good years. This first year there was 81. Ron Freeman and his crew.
That's 40 years ago, my friend.
I know it.
Marsh will be on to punt. Clock starts on the snap of the football. Fair catch signal for by Jaden Bell. And Muskogee will get the ball back at its own 46-yard line. Clock shows 3:03 left to play tonight here at SC Williams Stadium.
So let's see what the Ruffers want to do here. Do we put the ball up and risk turning it over, or are we going to play it close to the vest here?
With 3 minutes and 46 seconds remaining.
Time will tell.
It's a Navy midshipman 20.
Caden McGee and Isaiah Gibbons will be in the Twins wide to the right. Bell will be in a slot to the boundary short side left. He'll come in motion. They'll counter, hand it off in traffic up the middle. Tavian Johnson across the 50-yard line into Hornet territory goes the young freshman running back. He'll take it all the way to the 43-yard line, more than enough for a J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee Ruffer, 1st down and 10.
We haven't seen much of Johnson in the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's an exciting runner, too. That's a good move. He's 11 yards there.
Johnson goes out. Brendan Wilson comes back in a running back position. Kennedy McGee will be the slot to the left along with Watson. Caden McGee will be to the right. On a little jet sweep, coming back to McGee, trying to get to the corner, cuts upfield, breaks tackle at the 40, at the 35. Now turn to the Jets, 25, 20, 15, 10, to the house goes Kennedy McGee. 43 yards on the jet sweep, starting to his right, slashing back to his left, into the end zone. Touchdown Muskogee, touchdown James Hodge Ford, home with a built Ford Tough F-150.
Well, the Ruffers get some more points on the board and have a little more to cheer about now after that and complete the 54-yard drive.
That for Kennedy McGee, the senior, is his second touchdown of the year. But, Nick, he's got some giddy up as well.
He does. Once he gets out there, boy, he goes.
Skylar One Bear on to try the point after touchdown. Jaden Bell to hold. Snap is down. Kicks on the way. It looks good, and it is good. Timeout with 2:16 left. Ruffers get a fourth quarter touchdown to kind of put a little bit of a Band-Aid on a bleeding wound. They trail 54-21 to the Hornets of Tulsa, Washington. Back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2021.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Welcome back on Ruffer TV. Jet sweep turns into 6 points for the Ruffers. The scamper to the end zone by Kennedy McGee. And now the Hornets will circle the wagons and bring their special teams unit back out on the field.
Well, the Ruffers get a little bit of joy there as the game starts winding down with 2:16 to play. But again, too many points given up by the defense.
You got that right. Turnovers didn't help either. 5.
5 turnovers. And Washington, being the team they are, took advantage of every one of them.
Final score tonight, Wagner beats Grove 22-20. Poto beats Fort Gibson 49-21. Here's the ensuing kickoff. Short kick bounding on the field. Hornets will try to find the bobbling football, and it's still loose. There's a dive forward and a wrestling match. Ruffers saying we've got the pigskin, and so does the Whitehead. Ruffers on a bounding football, going to come up with a loose pigskin, and who's the lucky guy that's got it for the Muskogee Ruffers? That is Brandon Tolbert. So the Ruffers recovered the fumbled kickoff by the Hornets. And DJ McKinney never could find a handle on it. And the Ruffers will get it at the 21-yard line in Hornet territory. So with 2:11 to play, Nick, still a little bit of reason to bring your best.
Well, this would be nice to cash one in here and close out this game with a couple of touchdowns late to kind of give you a little momentum going into next week's finale.
Jamarian Ficklin this time with the running back Brandon Tolbert back in the backfield. Going to bring the jet sweep. Counter handoff inside. This is Latavian Johnson. He fumbled the football on the exchange, and the Ruffers cough it up for the 6th time tonight. Fumble recovery by Solomon Thompson.
Okay. Well,
so much for opportunity.
Opportunity, yeah. So this has been the certainly worst game in terms of turnovers the Ruffers have had so far tonight this year.
You'll get a chance to go down on the field and have a word or two with Ruffer head football coach Travis Hill. Nick, double duty tonight. Playing Clark Kent, aren't you? Superman.
Yes, that's it.
He'll be writing the recap of tomorrow morning's edition of the Muskogee Phoenix. After the fumble recovery, Hornets get it. They'll hand it off straight ahead, and the ball carrier will get up to about the 25-yard line. The clock will go under 2 minutes on this play. Sire Green on the carry. He gets from the 23 to the 25. Host of new names coming aboard for the Hornets. 5 turnovers tonight, or 6, make that. 3 fumbles and 3 pass interceptions.
The ball at the Hornets' 25-yard line. 1 minute.
1 is not enough against a talented squad like this.
You just cannot do
6
it.
will
And then your missed opportunities when you got down twice into the 20 or 25. Yeah, I got down to the 10 once.
So now with 1:20 in the clock run off, handoff goes to Sire King. He wiggles his way between tacklers before being wrapped up and dropped at the 28-yard line by one of the Muskogee Ruffers. Making the tackle for Muskogee that time was Memphis Coleman. 5-yard pickup. And it'll be 3rd down and 5. Don't forget, next Friday night, we'll be back at Indian Bowl. And Ruffer TV will be there to bring you the action as Muskogee will take on the Ponca City Wildcats. PC West losing tonight, Ponca losing, Bartlesville losing, so it'll be 2-4 against 2-4 in district play. Play action. Quarterback, this is Spain, going to keep it by himself. He'll run it out on the edge and stay in bounds. Out across the 30 to about the 35, and that'll be the last game. That'll be the last play. As the play clock is at 25 seconds and counting, and this game will be done. Tulsa, Washington starts fast and got faster and took advantage of the multiple turnovers on the part of the Muskogee Ruffers. And here tonight, they're going to stop the clock because the Ruffers have an injured player on the field. So they cannot wind the clock until the player is able to get up, but that should be the final play. But as we said, Tulsa, Washington tonight, Nick, starting fast and then taking advantage of the multiple turnovers tonight by the Muskogee Ruffers. And Tulsa, Washington is going to improve their mark to 8-1. Their lone loss was back in week number 1 of district play. They lost to Choctaw on the road, 29-20. Since then, have beaten Bartlesville 66-0, Sand Springs 37-32, PC West 62-6, Ponca City last week 31-10, and then now here tonight 54-21 over the Muskogee Ruffers. And the clock is going to wind down, and this game is in the books. Muskogee will drop a 54-21 decision to the Hornets of Tulsa, Washington. Stay tuned. Our post-game coverage comes your way after this 3-minute timeout on Ruffer Football 2021.
We are what makes Oklahoma proud. We are mothers. We are coaches, counselors, and teachers. We are community. We are innovators in medical technologies. We are researchers developing breakthroughs to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. We are everyday people. We are Northeastern Health Systems.
Having a good time is an American tradition, and at James Hodge, we're proud Americans. Now is the greatest time to get together, get out, and get away, no matter where the open road takes you. Your journey starts at James Hodge, an authentic part of Oklahoma for over 50 years. Get in a perfect ride at James Hodge Ford.
The James Hodge Ford Promise. The best selection, the absolute best price, and service guaranteed. James Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main, Muskogee, online at hodgeford.com.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Hi, welcome to Nissan of Muskogee.
Here in Muskogee, we're just 45 minutes from Tulsa, but us being family owned, like I said, the customers feel like family too.
What makes Nissan of Muskogee different? It's our people and a driving desire to surpass the expectations of our customers.
We care, and that's why they come to us.
Become a part of the family and let our people take care of you. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Tradition, it's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
Welcome back here at S.C. Williams Stadium. Tulsa, Washington Hornets start fast and then take advantage of multiple turnovers on the part of the Muskogee Ruffers, 6 of those tonight. And the Hornets sting the Ruffers by the final count of 54-21. And with that loss, the Ruffers' hopes of a potential postseason berth go amiss, as the Hornets improve to 8-1 and the Ruffers will drop to 2-7 with one game remaining here in the 2021 campaign next Friday night at Indian Bowl, which will be, remember, because it is the scheduled last home game ever to be played at Indian Bowl by a Muskogee high school football team. And that goes all the way back to 1929. 82 years of high school football played there at Indian Bowl, whether it was on the grassy hump field at Indian Bowl before the installation of the turf, and now all the way up to next Friday night, and the opponent for the Ruffers will be Ponca City. But tonight here in Nick Hampton, it was against a ball club that it was their senior night, and the Hornets came out. They looked like somebody had stirred the nest, so to speak, and tried to spray the Hornets, and what you got was stung multiple times on the quickness of the Hornets' offense, led by their field general, junior quarterback Lathan Boone, and then the Ruffers' 6 turnovers tonight, adding to that cause, and Tulsa, Washington gets their 8th victory in 9 starts, 54-21.
Yeah, just an offensive machine by this Washington club as they just mowed down the field repeatedly. Had to punt the ball only twice all night long against the Ruffers, and Muskogee with the turnovers and then the inability when they got into the red zone to convert, just really a big difference in the game.
Well, I know the statistics look very lopsided as far as tonight. Tulsa, Washington, 260 yards on the ground, another 331 through the air, 7 touchdowns tonight for Lathan Boone with 1 interception, but altogether 591 yards in total offense. Ruffers with 395, but had 6 turnovers, 211 yards on 23 snaps running the football. Most of that work being done by a determined Brandon Tolbert.
He was. Tolbert ended up with 120 yards on the ground tonight, 14 carries.
I know he would like to have a couple of those carries back, though, Nick, to secure his opportunity and take away a couple of those turnovers that kind of re-energize the Hornets of Booker T. But, Nick, just overall your final assessment of tonight's ball game. I know you got to go to the turf and talk to Travis.
Well, just too much Washington. Ruffers just unable to keep up with the speed. It was kind of like we were afraid when the game started. We talked about their speed. That was it, and then the Ruffers just shot themselves in the foot with all the turnovers, basically.
So, final score 54-21. We'll take one final 1-minute timeout and come back and name our Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game. That after this timeout on Ruffer Football 2021.
The Muskogee Athletic Department would like to recognize its proud Ruffer Athletics sponsors: Armstrong Bank, Oklahoma Army National Guard, Arvest Bank, Chick-fil-A Muskogee, Neighbors Building Neighborhoods, St. Francis Muskogee, Tommy Nix Auto Group, Springs Skilled Nursing and Therapy. Go Ruffers!
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
The Muskogee Athletic Department would like to recognize its proud Ruffer Athletics sponsors:
Back at Indian Bowl, Bill Huddleston, along with the Rougher TV broadcast crew, we thank you for joining us tonight from S.C. Williams Stadium. It was settled early. Hornets came out and delivered the knockout punch early on. Ruffers added to their own cause with some early turnovers, and Booker T took advantage of those. And the Washington Hornets fly and sting loud as they win it 54-21. Each and every week, despite the outcome in victory or defeat, we do name a Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game. And despite the 2 turnovers tonight, Brandon Tolbert, 14 carries, 120 yards. He was a big part of the Ruffers' ability to run the football tonight. They gained 211 yards in combined numbers. Brandon Tolbert will be our Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game. Again, thanks to our student-led production crew tonight, bringing you the sights and sounds from S.C. Williams Stadium as the party continues here on senior night for Tulsa, Washington. And the Ruffers will go back home for the final time. The final time of the 2021 campaign, one Friday night from now. The last opportunity for Ruffer football fans to say they were there to see the final game played at a historic Indian Bowl. 82 years of football history will come down to one Friday night contest at Indian Bowl next Friday night against the Ponca City Wildcats. For Nick Hampton and our Ruffer TV crew, I'm Bill Huddleston from S.C. Williams Stadium. Again, the final score, Tulsa, Washington, 54, Muskogee 21. In victory or in defeat, it's always a great day to be a Ruffer. Good night, everybody, from Tulsa.
Red Dirt Production Services proudly supports the Muskogee Ruffers. Productivity in the oil and gas industry requires every member of the team to know their job and do it to the best of their abilities. Just like in football, teamwork is a #1 priority, and that's the mission of Red Dirt Production Services, serving the oil and gas industry through roustabout and well pumping services, along with environmental remediation and pipeline construction. Proud to join forces with the Ruffers to win every day the Muskogee way. Red Dirt Production Services says, go Ruffers!